Hello!
Yeah!
We're professionals.
We're organized.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Wednesday, your favorite day, because you get to see all of us. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Rad. Okay, I'm realizing my title card is a little fucked up right now, but it's fine.
Pay no attention to the name tags in front of the curtain. That broke. That broke on contact.
It's fine.
Like
hello.
I'm very fragile.
There we go. That
Any response now. I had to that, none of them could go live.
Hasn't stopped you before.
It's too early. We're still in Sponers. Give it a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta get there.
So hello everyone. Yes, hello. It is Wednesday. We have Sponers. Go check them out. We have some good ones. We have some fun ones. Check out Lore Link. I started jumping in. I think I'm gonna move some of the World Anvil stuff maybe over to Lore Link. Try some of that out. It's a ton of fun. It's really cool. Check out all of our other cool good ones. Day 20. That's Matt. TA Maps. It's in the game. Yeah, no, for real. They're all great. They're all really cool. You should definitely go check them out and help them support us by supporting them. Taylor is going to go ahead and watch some TikToks while you all are here. Do you have something to say to the class, Taylor? Would you like to share?
Does anyone have a pen? Apparently.
Oh my chaos.
Oh, Taylor.
Just sweet Wednesday chaos. Yeah, we got Sponers. I mean, I'm here, so I'm sure there's boners.
I have a thing about Sponers real quick that I forgot to talk about before we went live, because some people forget dice, I forget business stuff. We, as part of our amazing sponsorship with Into the AM, they've given us some gift cards. So today, in celebration of our new Tales of Caerwyn campaign, we're going to be doing a giveaway for the gift cards. So when we go on break, be sure to do the whole word giveaway thingy, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And you can get a $25 gift card to Into the AM. And then you could combine that, because I have yet to find a discount code that doesn't stack with Into the AM's cart software. So you could combine that $25 gift card with our Into the AM code. So I think it's just TOI. Toy. If you do that, you get some percent. Yeah, the Matt tab is back. You get % off of your checkout, and then of that % off, $25 off the top. Bam. So
That's so good.
You should stick around for the giveaway during our break. Thanks to Into the AM for being a dope t-shirts and a dope sponsorship partner. Yeah.
We love you, Into the AM. We'd like to take you into the AM.
Yeah.
That says that we're doing a giveaway.
Yes,
I'm working on it.
I could do that.
Ooh.
Wait, if you're working on it and I'm working on it, then no one's talking.
Anybody have anything fun to share? Anything? You got anything going on? We're doing...
I got my hair cut, and now I don't know who I am anymore.
Who am I?
I don't
Taylor
know.
is
It's
slightly
so
less top heavy now.
short. No, it's
Not
still
by
top
much.
heavy. Just
I said slightly less.
slightly less top heavy.
Jesus.
But like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like, help me find out who I am.
Who am I?
I'm no longer red and bright. I'm now dark and moody, and I
love it so much.
It's so good. It feels so soft and silky, and there you go. That's how exciting I am.
Hey, it's not our fault you're boring.
I've updated it. It says giveaway.
What
there
a
should be a
callback.
giveaway. Hey, we did it. Oh,
Yeah.
Stream Elements doesn't think there's a giveaway running, but I know there's one, and you know there's one.
Yes.
Radical. Okay. So we're definitely doing great here. Sponers. We have a Patreon. We should go check us out. We might be doing some fun stuff with this stream. We're still figuring out all of the fun stuff that this stream is gonna have. We're potentially doing some Twitch rewards. We might be doing some Patreon stuff. all sorts of fun things. So yeah, go check that out. And then also take a look at our Discord. Come join us. You can come chat with us during the show. If you just don't like Twitch chat for whatever reason and you instead want to chat with us on Discord, we're over there as well. Or you can chat with us after the shows. All 5 of us are there lots of the times. So you can talk to us and be our friends. Rad. I think that's all the big stuff. I am so distracted. I can't have stream on. I'm so distracted by it. Your names and titles are so out of they're not in line, and it's killing me.
Haley's is the only. Well, Haley and arguably Taylor's are the only one that actually fit in well with the whole.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
But mine's wrong.
It's wrong.
Oh,
Did I spell it wrong?
It's EE instead of BY. It's BEE instead of BY.
No, it's not. And
Oh, is it not?
But it's Miss. I'm not Ms.
Yes.
And that is a big deal.
What? That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
We're
Ms.
not going
is
to.
a widow. Ms. is a widow.
Yeah.
It
Miss
most
is-
certainly is not. MS is a abbreviation for Miss.
No, it's not.
Colin,
No, it's not.
It is now. That is a recent change to the prefixing and titling of feminine names.
Miss is an English language honorific used with the last name or full name of a woman, intended as a default form address of women regardless of marital status. Motherfuckers.
It is.
I
It
didn't
is
say
purely.
shit.
Colin, I agree with you. However, in the fantasy land, it is slightly different.
Yes.
Haley's character. Haley gets to choose her title.
There. I fixed it.
Nailed it.
We're coming in with some
Spicy.
some spicy taste today. Yeah. Anyway,
What did I do wrong?
Can I add something?
yeah, go for it, Mel. What's up?
So, in light of the Patreon stuff, we have some stuff cooking in the works, so be on the lookout. You have some Patreon exclusive content that is going to be emerging, which yours truly may or may not be
Yes.
helping out with or debuting. So,
I revealed it. I actually revealed it yesterday, so
Damn
we can
it.
talk about it. No. But we can talk about a new reveal for today. Is that Mel is the GM for our Patreon exclusive podcast that is starting with witches, and we're gonna rotate through lots of systems as the podcast continues. But the first season, the first arc is going to be what's the full title of the game, Mel?
the system is called Witches Faded Ones, and then the game campaign is called Liberty to All. So we're currently still in the works of recording the last few episodes, actually, of this first arc. So I
Yeah,
intend to
you're gonna
make
get
it a
to-
very juicy ending.
Yeah, everything we do is juicy. But yeah, you're gonna get to start hearing that very soon.
Radical.
Damn it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Our juice is always worth the squeeze.
No!
I'm distracted reading about the history of the word miss now. So thank you for that.
But there is a history, isn't there?
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah, in
first
1901, some guy wrote it and was like, we don't have a good title for women that aren't married, so we're gonna use miss.
Mm.
That's the history.
She takes the R out of Mister and just adds an
What?
S for Miss.
No, it takes the R out of
I just wrote it
Mrs.
down for you.
It takes the R out of Mrs., which is short for mistress, and makes it miss.
This is the English language lesson I did.
Don't fight me
Yeah.
on English.
I'm not fighting anybody.
Not
on
you.
English. I barely know it.
Yeah, mistress. Miss is short for mistress. Like Mr. and mistress are feminine, or the gendered versions of the same word, basically
Oh,
just meaning
Mistress
like.
was like a side piece.
Nope, that's only a
how
new
we
thing.
use it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And miss was just a shortening of mistress into miss. Anyway, the more you know.
I'm about to change it to
I need
just lady in a minute. So just
Yeah,
Little
that's fine.
rainbow.
Hi, Robert.
Anyway, yeah, all right. Well, welcome back, everybody. I I think, unless anybody has anything new, we are good to jump on back in to some Tales of Caerwyn, The Raven King Returns, Fabula Ultima, Episode 2.
Woo!
All right, let's do it. So,
Yeah.
when last we left off, I get to say that now because we actually had an episode last time. It was not the first one.
That's now correct. Yeah.
We met our, I need a word that's not intrepid heroes, because that's already taken by Dimension 20.
Rule of
but
Chaos?
yeah, fucking the chaotic ones.
No, that's something out of something else, isn't it? The Chaos
I
Crew?
don't know.
Haven't I heard that? I think I've
We-
heard
That's
that.
CPK. That's on
We
the
met our
server.
we met our Final Fantasy protagonists as a party in a D&D game.
Yeah.
Yes!
As they
Go!
as they entered the town of Eklund's Fall for the Festival of Given Light, played some fun festival games, learned a little bit about the mechanics of Fabula Ultima, and then we jumped into a little combat conflict scene, as it's called in Fabula Ultima. And y'all fought some resurrected skeletal warrior things from times gone past, as
Necron Warriors.
yes, Necron warriors, exactly. As these seemingly ancient sites of some kind found themselves spurting forth from the ground. Yeah, you heard me, Matt. And yeah, I think a lot actually happened last time, other than just that. But
It's
I
a
think
quick recap. It's a
yeah.
good recap.
left with more questions than answers. The crew retired to the Barge Right Inn, where you all were staying for the night, as the Wild took over the crime scene of this like ancient site that popped open. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where we left off. So what would you all be doing, like to do, as we enter in? I think probably on you all sort of recovering from the fight, taking a minute, catching your breath, in the tavern level of the Barge Right Inn.
Ruin has very much retreated out of attempting to be anywhere noticeable now that the Wilder showed up, and is pulling the cloak tighter around the armor, but still wants to. I'd like to stay awake for the fireworks. We've already had some fireworks, but maybe there's more shit that's about to pop off. So not ready to go to bed just yet. It's too early.
They've cancelled the festivities due to events.
Yeah, how are people reacting?
You see in this specific area, it seems like a lot of people have kind of moved on. Like no one seems to be, there's no revelries in this neighborhood right now. But from around the city, I think probably in some of the places that were less affected by these things, people still like continue on. I'll say you can hear some of the Wild as they're like going around. There was a lot that came in immediately and like helped lock down the situation, and then there's now just a few that are like on guard duty, basically, of just like making sure no one gets too close to this ancient monument. It's been 30 minutes, to an hour, kind of thing like that. And you can kind of
one ancient monument.
near you, yes. There were multiple beams of light that sort of burst through the city, the ground in the city. So presumably multiple sprung up around the city. You do hear them kind of talking about like, you hear one of them just be like, can you believe they're keeping the fireworks going? The other one's like, yeah, people need hope, especially when weird things are happening. So yeah, seems like the festivities are going on still. Nothing, they've locked down this area. They've got kind of like a cordon keeping people out just because it might be dangerous near this ancient site. But the rest of the city seems to be moving on in the way that a large city would during a like large event. It's not like cataclysmic.
Didn't was it Fiona or was it Miss Buttersby that had tried to get close to study the thingy?
Fiona.
That'd be me.
Fiona.
If I recall correctly, though, at least the way we left it off last time, I think the general gist was we were going to go to bed since the Wild Guard were kind of handling everything, and that was something more for the next day.
I want food, sustenance, before I go to sleep.
Libations.
I know, I've already had too many libations before.
Um,
Quiet. My gosh. More
and as you-
libations?
As you do,
How many times do you pray a day?
as you are kind of like catching your breath, getting kind of like settled into the area, do you sit down at a table? Would you kind of like rest
Yes.
like that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you
We
see
just walk up to each other and we're all just like, hi.
you see
Pressed against Ruin.
Ruin is not bothered for once and is just like still like just watching the wild move around and is just very much like quiet at the table.
So no different to usual.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hotman McBartender guy, whose name I don't remember. I don't know if I even gave him one.
I don't think
He
I don't
I don't
think
even
he
know.
did.
I don't remember anything about him. I remember this is what he looked like. But he comes over and he's got like a whole round of ales for you. We saw what you did out there, and these are on the house, and I'm happy to get you any food if there's anything you'd like on the house as well
Yes,
for your help.
absolutely.
Gramaget.
I'll-
I've loaded nachos.
Sure.
I'll just grab whatever the kitchen's serving tonight. Thank you.
Robert. If you have any soup by any chance, I wouldn't mind having a little bit.
Soup? Sure. We've got the house special. We've got a cheddar broccoli soup. We've got a chicken noodle. We've got lobster bisque. We've got a buffalo chicken. Ooh, I'm sure there's a few more, but
My selections. I mean, last year there was like one soup.
we definitely
The
served more soups last year.
lobster bisque sounds delicious.
It's been quite the update. And like, Theodora's like kind of scratching her head.
Yeah,
She's gonna take her hat off as well while we're sitting.
casual.
Scandalous.
Yeah, I know.
Casual.
We're inside.
Yeah, we're inside, and I mean, she would usually keep it on, but she's feeling like she needs to just.
A little frisky,
Relax.
little casual.
Decompress.
Yeah, she's got to decompress.
Relax.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he leaves and brings back whatever food you wanted. You got loaded nachos, you got a lobster bisque, you got whatever thing you wanted. There's a good amount of food here. Like you got all sorts of kind of fun stuff.
I'll try one of everyone's if that's okay.
Yeah.
Did
The
you
sharing
order
begins.
anything though?
Yes, of course.
Short of the soup.
I don't know. I stew, I believe. I just assume whatever the house special is.
It's their like forever stew, their like immortal stew that they just like keep going all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It literally
Holy
tastes
shit.
exactly what it tastes like the last time I was here.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no difference.
Just as I remember.
How haunting.
Mhm.
So yeah, you all get your food. Ales are on the house and free as long as you want them. As sort of a congratulations for, well, a thank you, not a congratulations, a thank you for helping out. They saw what you did.
How very generous.
I want to roll might for the sake of inebriation. Doing okay.
What do we do? Might? A double might skill?
I just did a double might just
Yeah.
to see.
If you think your
Awesome.
character would be drunk enough to, or have drunk enough to need a might roll, go for it.
Yeah.
Run,
Such is,
yeah.
Such is here for a good time, not a long time.
A 7 and a 6. What is that? Do I add them? Do I?
Yeah,
It's a-
Adam.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 13. That's pretty solid.
I'm doing
Um,
pretty well.
I got
See,
10.
the tricks seem weaker this year.
anything more than a 7, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like you're all experienced drinkers. You have some level of skill in this, so that is fine.
Oh, especially
And-
since I've been.
Just to remind everyone, Fabula Ultima, some fun rules that you should know about. Not necessarily right now, but you have Fabula points. Remember that you do have those. You get one. If you have none, you get one at the beginning of every session, and they contribute to you leveling up. So it is worthwhile to spend them for things. The things that you can spend Fabula points on are altering the story. So for 1 Fabula point, you can add alter an existing element or add a new element to the story. And so we can kind of talk about, negotiate what that would look like, but feel free at any point to tell me, hey, I'd like this to be a little different, or I want something new to happen here. You spend 1 to invoke a bond. You should all have at least 1 bond, potentially 2 with various things. If in the course of a scene you have a roll, you want to invoke your bond to re-roll one of your die, you can use a Fabula point to do that. Actually, sorry, that's to add. Sorry, bonds are to add bond strength to a check. So when you roll a thing, you can invoke it, use a Fabula point to add the strength of that bond to the check, whatever you rolled. And then traits are to re-roll. If you use one of your traits, origin, identity, or theme, and you can tie that back to like why it's helping you in the scenario, it lets you re-roll your dice during a check. I think any number of them. If there's 2, you can roll 1 or 2.
One or both.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then some skills will also require Fabula points, but
Yes.
that will let you
I
know
have
if you
does
need
that.
that. And to like, since this is a new system for us all, you should be spending these. Like, use them somewhat
Don't hoard them.
liberally. Don't hoard them. This
Yeah.
isn't inspiration in D&D. You will get one at least every session. You will get them for other things. And they are sort of the core mechanic of the game to like keep things moving forward. Counterposed by Ultima points, which you haven't run into yet, but will. Cool. All right. With that little bit of rules system, I have altered the story. Pray I do not alter it further. Great. Yeah. What are y'all doing?
Are we going to go look at the fireworks before the end of night?
Yes,
I'd like
yes,
to
please,
see.
yes, please, yes, please. I found a great viewing point. Like, you know where we were almost hit by the trains?
I have somewhere in mind that isn't anywhere near the trains.
Yeah, I suppose the noise could. What's the word I'm looking for? Could, like, overpower the booms of the fireworks, and we can't have that.
I
No,
do
not at
apologize. I
all.
don't want to rain on your parade. That, if you would prefer,
You can make it rain?
No. Oh. No, I cannot make it rain. Sorry. DM, would
Continue.
you allow me to have a cool spot that I've found in previous festivals for the fireworks?
Yeah. Roll me.
Maybe the
Let's just-
highest old building?
Let's just roll me just a flat D20. Just this will give us some idea. We're looking higher is better, lower is
I got an
No.
18.
okay. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, do you want to describe it? Go for it. I'll say with an
Yeah, it's
18, this
it's
is
like
your
a beautiful clock tower, maybe?
sure.
Ooh, that's fun.
And it's like stained glass windows that are like really, really old. And so as we climb just before the fireworks, like the lights are all dancing everywhere as we climb higher and higher towards the area. I don't know if we've got to sneak past some people, but we do.
No, I think with an 18, like, you know the way in, you know what you're doing there. That was lucky enough, basically, that like you've been here before, and I think, you know, kind of wildly, like, this city hasn't built up around this clock tower, and specifically, like, many other places around this place have sort of built up. It would have been potentially hard to find a higher location from however long ago was the last time you were here. But yeah, you find this sort of beautiful stained glass, original clock tower. So many of the clock towers have been replaced with Arcanium that just is on a timer and just sort of plays like a.
That I don't freak out.
Yeah, like so many of them have been replaced with like Arcana tech that is like a mechanical timer system that thaumaturgies itself to play a clock sound. But this one is actually like original clockwork with these beautiful like hanging pendants that swing like a pendulum and do the whole thing, and when it hits a specific time the clock goes off. And these like sort of beautiful stained glass illustrations of the history of Eklund's Fall, and sort of where the city came from, but like old enough history that you are aware of it. So this is the history of Avondale.
It's a bit of glass that's just like the king dying, and I'm like, that's odd.
Yeah. No, I think when you were here last time, we'll say this is cool, fantastical shit. So like the whole of the outside is stained glass. Like it is a clock tower made of stained glass. When you were here originally, it was only about half. And now the bottom half has been replaced with stained glass as well. And so the top half is a story that you know. The bottom half is not something that you're aware of. You see some bloody battles. You see some you see a very like stained glass representation of 3 ghostly, ghastly hands, cloaked in shadow, sort of like handing over a sword, very Lady in the Lake-esque, but like if the Lady in the Lake were a fucking ghostly lich-looking character, and a person accepting this sword that you do not recognize. But above that is the story of Avondale and this province and how it was sort of founded originally. Yeah, you get to the top, no problem. There's a nice viewing area.
Alan Dove is beautiful from this height, don't you think?
Alan Dove, yes.
Alan Dove.
I got that. Alan of Dale, which is a Robin Hood thing. No,
I wrote it down when you told me.
It's Alan Dove. I've just said it wrong because I was thinking Alan of Dale. Alan Dove. ALANDOVE.
Eklund's Fall now.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was
Alan Dove.
Ruin is just looking over like, oh.
Is it the suburb we're in?
No, the city that we're in right now, Alan Dove. I have
Eklund's
noticed
Fall.
that... What? Now, I must have missed some news. When did Eklund fall exactly?
About 4 panes left of the weird hands of the sword.
Eklund's Fall is the name of this town, Theodora. It hasn't been called Allendale in quite some time.
Well, isn't that interesting information? Sorry, I beg your pardon. I believe I must have misheard you. What? How long?
At least a year.
Right as you say that,
yes.
right as
Yes,
Ruin
yes.
says, at least a year,
Thank you.
the fireworks start going off in the distance, and
lovely.
these very like have you ever seen those like drone displays that they do in place of fireworks
Yes.
now? It's that, but with actual fireworks. So it's like the best of both worlds. It's
It's
these
the Gandalf
animated,
fireworks.
yes, exactly. It's Gandalf fireworks. But yeah, it is these like beautiful illustrations of like moments of history throughout Eklund's Fall. You see sort of what is the traditional representation of the Giver, beautifully rendered in like full color. You see some of the story like acted out. There's a moment where this being that is sort of, I don't know how this works. It's dark fireworks. They're like black. And as they
It's like
render,
a UV light.
yeah, they're UV fireworks. But you see this sort of creature like reach forward as chains sort of dangle off of its arms, and just as it looks like it's about to like descend on the city, this massive bright white light firework that is like sputtered with green and blue and the same colors that you saw of the like lights that kind of came across the side, the Aurora Borealis style lights. Like it just obliterates this dark creature as it sort of splits across the sky. And it actually, like, for a second, your eyes like take a minute to adjust from how bright this last firework is. And as it settles down, you kind of hear throughout the city some applause and screams and like people just reveling in the moment. And the fireworks for the Festival of Given Light die off.
Do we see
That's
do we see our weird light pillar or any other weird light pillars that came from that aurora?
Yeah. I think from where you are, you definitely see the one that you are near. Like, you're not far enough away that's a problem. And I think from where you are, you can see sort of like one or two others. There are maybe 6 throughout the entirety of the city. Like, this isn't like they're everywhere in the city. This is like, They are specific city blocks, small little areas. And yeah, that's about it.
How tall are they? They're like 50 feet?
25. They are not
Okay.
like they don't tower over even the like houses in the area. You can just tell that there's something's like slightly amiss. Honestly, I think probably what you see more of is like you see like the glow of festivities, and then you see areas that are like dark because no one is there. And
yeah.
You can kind of see in a couple of those like just the top of the pillars. And they are sort of these like shards of, they look like arcanium. They look like the metal that like makes up the mechanical systems of this world, but like different. They actually look kind of similar to the wild armor, where they have all these runes on them, but they're runes that like none of you speak the language that is like inscribed on the side of this pillar. And they are shards almost of like metal that have kind of risen out of the ground. Yeah.
Taking notes. Unknown language.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Please hold. Your story
Please hold.
time is important to us.
This will be relevant later.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. So yeah, I think Ruin's just been looking at the fireworks, but mostly like scanning the city and seeing like what's up.
If you want, you can study the city. This is a scene.
Ooh.
We can call this a study. If you would like to
Okay.
do that, we can see what happens.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a study. So D8 or insight.
Yes. Yeah, unless you can make the argument for something else, I will say, yeah, it's insight.
I'm not seeing any way that's the other stuff.
Okay.
Ooh, 11.
Okay. What do you have a question in mind about this? If not, I can just give like generally.
Yeah, I don't think I have a question specifically in mind. So just general,
Okay.
any sort of, any hook, any like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think first and foremost, this is weird. This is not a thing that happens. Ancient sites are found sometimes, usually deep in the earth. So you find like the
Mhm.
Neverdark mines in the north. Every now and then they run across some things. There's some theories that arcanium, the magia metal that they use, is potentially like remnants of some of this ancient like technology.
Mhm.
But it is very unlikely to see something like this happen in especially a place like this. However, on the other side of that, you do know that many of the cities and like bastions of civilization of the world are thought to be built on what is this world's equivalent of like ley lines, which are places of power for whatever reason. There's a war between dragons that happened. Some cities are built on places where dragons died and like their immortal souls leaked into the land around it. Some of them are thought to be cities of like ancient importance. The myths of Caerwyn sort of talk about the creation of the world as like there was this fight between the five and the one chained in the dark. In that fight, like the material of the planes was ripped apart, and there wasn't like enough to make what was there originally, so they sort of just smushed what was left together. And so you got this sort of weird like Play-Doh amalgamation of like new land and ancient land and like these ancient sites and cities that were kind of like crammed underground to just make up mass. So yeah, all of that together.
It's literally canon here that the devil did put the dinosaur bones there. Like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
Like, if you did like big earth cores, there would be nonsense happening somewhere where like stuff doesn't actually make sense.
Yeah, and like potentially you've got these like pre-ruin like fossils and things that are happening above layers of like civilization that like don't make sense. And I think probably Fiona, you would know there's like an entire archaeological wing of the colleges that like is interested in studying like the historical archaeological record. And like one of the things that complicates that is that just sometimes you find like very primitive weapons, like extremely advanced weapons in the next layer, or like extremely advanced tools in the next layer, and then primitive again, and it's just like what is happening? So yeah, this was all.
So is there?
Oh, go ahead.
Is there an inkling that these things got pulled up by the light from where they were, or not enough to know?
Since you got an 11, I will say not enough to know.
Yeah.
With the caveat that like it's definitely connected. Like something here happened. There was a reason that this festival was happening at the time that these things happened. It doesn't seem coincidental that these things happened. But as to why and like interesting details about it, you can't determine.
I'm not that smart.
Well, I certainly plan to be looking at those little pillars as soon as morning comes. A good night's sleep, though, should help all of us.
Really? You're not even slightly curious to sneak about and get closer?
Well, sure. But, unfortunately, as I am a little too familiar with the Wild Guard, they're not going to be too keen until the situation has been taken care of.
How are you familiar with the Wild Guard?
I go to the College of the Lady. The Wild Guard are almost just outside of the entrance, so we run into them from time to time.
Oh, very lovely.
So you have an in with them in case we get caught?
I don't think of that caliber, no.
My family have made quite significant donations to the colleges throughout our history, and so maybe I might have some sway there.
Ooh. Would you be interested
with them in the morning?
Yeah, morning sounds good.
An exhausted mind is a useless mind, my dear.
Yes, how do I get my mind points back?
DM mechanics question.
Wait, what are there are magic points, aren't there?
Yes.
When
there are no magic points.
Yeah, that.
Basically, the way that
yes.
When you rest somewhere safe, essentially, you regain all of your hit points and mind points and recover from any status effects. The way that works is if you're in the wild or like somewhere where it isn't safe, if you spend the inventory points for a magic tent, that like heals you up. This is very Final Fantasy, sleeping to the next day, like NPCs don't really move kind of thing. You know, that classic just like, we're burning an item to rest. Otherwise, it's like hospitality. So if you have someone that is truly friendly, They will like in exchange for help or money, that is considered a safe location. Or if you just like find somewhere that is safe for whatever reason. A lot of times if you're like if you're dungeon delving, sometimes I think I like the way I read the rules especially is like, oh, you are dungeon delving, but I want to give you a place to rest, so I'm going to tell you like you found a consecrated ground that like will protect you from all enemies kind of thing.
It has to be an area that is specifically like safe and restful. And if you don't have one of those, you gotta magic tent it up.
You cannot save here. You have to find a place where you can save your game and
enemies
back out.
Are too close by. I cannot rest. Yeah.
Damn it.
So this is your
level grind anymore.
Your inn is considered a safe place. You will all regain all of your hit points and everything from resting.
Hooray!
Yes, we should head back to the inn. I have some work to do.
What work?
So if that gets us into it, that moves us into a resting scene, which is a fun feature of this game. We don't always have to take resting scenes, but these are essentially codified versions of what you do in D&D, where you're like, this is a campfire scene and you're all just chatting and like doing something there. If anyone would like to have a moment in this resting scene, you can. It is a time to roleplay conversations, describe what your characters are doing as you're sort of just relaxing in this inn. But specifically, at the end of a resting scene, each player may do one of the following things. You can either create a new bond towards someone or something, add an emotion to an existing bond, or erase an emotion from an existing bond and replace it with a different one. And when you add new bonds or change in the emotions, you need to describe like how and why your character's view has shifted. You do not have to do any of that stuff if you don't feel like any of you would be... You all just met, so like bonds might be kind of weird for that, but like you are more than happy to. You're more than welcome to. Not happy to. Welcome to.
You will be happy.
You will be happy.
I'm happy to do this.
I did. Ruin asked what work if there's a scene there between Miss Buttersby and Ruin.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm open to that.
I did offer to help in the kitchens to get a discount on the rooms. I'm looking to just expand my networking in certain kitchens as much as I can, honestly. So if you wanted to, you can more than happy to give me a hand. We can chat and you can go over this second part of the stained glass with me. I do have some questions.
I am not that well read, but I could tuck the armor away and polish some dishes.
I'm excited. What do we do now?
Now it's just microscope improv style,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this is entirely...
I guess we're finding the innkeeper.
Yeah.
And I am offering to help tidy up the kitchen ready for tomorrow before we rest.
Yeah, and I think so the owner of the inn is not here right now, but the guy that you've kind of been talking with initially is very just like, oh no, like you don't need to help, like you've done more than enough, like whatever. So as you go, like
services, and I would like to continue with that, please. Thank you.
You can see he's like, oh, okay, I guess well, we have kitchen work that needs to be done, whatever you'd like to do there. And he like sort of hovers.
We shall do whatever you require of us, and I just push my way into the kitchen.
Yeah. What do you want to do? I like what would Teddy be looking for?
That is, so I mean, she's definitely gonna wait for direction because she's here to help. So if he points to whatever the first job that he points to is the job that she will do, because it's the most important.
Okay.
Prepping, she's good with prepping. She's good with dishes. She's good with anything that involves a knife, honestly.
Okay, so let's.
We did see those knife skills earlier.
So it's the end of the day. There's not like a ton of like cooking work to do. There's some prep work.
No, of course not. Yes.
Would Teddy think that the dishes are like the most pressing, like it's the end of the day, the kitchen is tired, you know, I'm gonna go help with the dishes? Like, is that what Teddy would think?
Yeah, I'd say so. That was her first train of thought, but then when you kept offering more things, I was like, maybe he doesn't want me to touch the dishes.
No.
These are secret dishes.
Yeah, I hover in that direction to make sure no one's going to tell me no, and then I immediately get to it. I just pull rubber gloves out, just go over the top of my gloves, apron, and I'm straight to it, and I am immediately passing things to Ruin as I continue.
So I'm gonna
start drying with like the cloak, and then realize, oh shit, this is dirty. Can you redo this one?
Yeah, and I will pass you a dishcloth that looks clean.
I'm gonna interject.
Yeah, that's better.
A little prior to this, all of this is great. There is a sink that clearly used to at some point be used for washing dishes. But what I want to see here is from Teddy and Ruin both. How does Teddy react to an automatic dishwasher? A bit of magic that seems to be handling this pretty handily for itself. You see plates sort of floating from the dirty pile through this bit of like sparkly weirdness. Yeah. It's weird. It's the prestidigitation spell, but like on a loop that is moving plates through it. There is a sink. You will totally be able to like wash these dishes. But like, how does Teddy react to this?
This is indeed remarkable. What is this? And I am just like, with my head like a tennis match, just like watching the dishes go through and exit.
They didn't have this one last year.
No, absolutely not. This is quite marvelous, and I want to like, is there like runes and stuff that I could like see that? Because like I feel like I recognize this now from seeing it around, but this is the first thing I can get close to that has them on it.
Yeah, so I think this is one of those things that's like, it has a use that is very analogous to something in the real world, but the way that it looks is very, very different. There is a box. It just kind of looks like almost like a Rubik's Cube style thing, made out of metal with a number of runes on it.
Okay.
It seems to be the thing that is in charge of doing this, but what you see is a box on the counter, a bit of like ethereal shimmering as a plate is lifted from a dirty pile, moved in front of the box. Everything on that plate just seems to vanish. Very prestidigitation, like cleaning clothes, like it was dirty and now it's clean. And I think there's probably like a, comically accurate, like sparkle as the plate lands on the other side. That's like, oh wow, those are really clean.
Put my really dirty knife on the pile.
Yeah. Fully
clean.
And I think like sharpened. Like your knife actually, I think actually up to this point, your knife was looking pretty rusty.
This is quite an old knife.
It looks like, yeah, actually,
it would be even older now, but it was old before.
So yeah, how old is your knife?
This is a kitchen. This is a butcher's knife that's been passed down, I'd say, one generation from me.
Okay.
So like my teacher, it was their knife, and I got it from them.
Well taken care of?
Well taken care of, yes.
Okay.
Up until apparently now, which I don't know how they've got this bad.
Yeah, and I think
Beautiful.
Finally looking at this knife for like kind of the first time since you've really like set foot. You were fighting with it originally, like it was not super clear. It weirdly looks like it has aged a lot. It's got some rust on it. It's got like the edge. I think you now are sort of remembering like in that fight, like the edge is even a little duller than you would have expected for just like the time that you've been traveling with this thing. sort of a
Must
metagamey.
have left it out in the rain.
It doesn't look like it's aged as far as we know that like time gap is. Like, you know, Haley knows the time gap is. It does not look like it has aged that much, but it definitely has suffered the effects of time strangely.
That is quite odd. I mean, it looks better now, or it still looks aged? But
Running it
better?
through the machine, it seems to sort of just have like removed all the rust. It's nice and shiny. It looks brand new, and it is
Ew.
sharp, like deadly sharp. The kind of knife you want in a kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Far out. Look at this, and I'm going to hand it to Ruin.
Ruin's gonna do the finger knife trick and like just test it. Oh, it did a good job. Cleaned it
Yes.
up.
Thank you. And I'm going to put it back into the leather belt.
Do you want to talk about the weirdness, or do you want me to start talking about the weirdness?
Look, there is definitely weirdness. It shall require some time to consider my next course of action, but I do believe something has happened. And she kind of is like taking things in a little bit more. Like, there has been so much progress, and yet the bones of everything stays the same. More than a year has passed, has it not? And I turn around to Ruin.
I don't actually know, but everything you've said wasn't that way last year. It's been that way for my 39 years. So
You wouldn't happen to know what year it is, would you?
I would. I gotta look up my notes, but I would.
Okay.
It's 16,732.
Oh my. It is a strange thing to outlive one's time, but I have adapted before.
You taking it in? You okay?
Yep. Yes.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Ca-
Mm-hmm.
Would it be the worst? Because now I'm just curious.
Yes.
What year did you think it was?
16,330.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
400 years. That is an extravagant number.
It's a bit. It's a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
The actual year, sorry? 16.
732.
Okay, so 402 years.
Well,
It is,
I mean,
if anyone's interested, it is Wands Day, the
Yeah.
13th of Givenhost in the year 16732.
Yes. Which I think I may have just said the number wrong. It's supposed to be 400 years, so
Yeah.
it's then 16,332 is the year that I'm from. My apologies.
no worries. So yeah, I mean, how are you? You're taking this pretty well, if I were to take a guess.
And I take a big deep breath and I say, I should think a person in possession of her wits and a good frying pan can manage in any era. And she takes a big deep breath. Whew.
There's some truth to that. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to figure out what has happened, but I mean, what an interesting turn of events.
I mean, a lot of years rendered short. It's kind of the same story over and over again. Assholes in power want more power, and so they do what they need to do to get that power and keep it. And then the round and round we go. The
Sounds familiar.
the name, maybe the most pertinent fact, there was like a coup thing where the King Eklund, you know that guy?
Yes, I remember him fondly.
Gone. Out with that guy.
No, not the
Oh,
king.
you remember him fondly. Shit. Sorry. Oh, fuck.
The king.
That's my bad. I could have been more gentle with that. Basically, the Morrigan. Have you heard of them?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Basically 3 super powerful, but also like kind of weird, creepy, mysterious folk gave a magic sword to a dude that then killed King Eklund. The city then became known as Eklund's Fall, and that guy went on to do a lot more of the swinging of the sword. And
He was the winner. That's why there's a picture of him.
Yes, yeah.
Ah, how unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of just history's written by the winners, right?
I guess so. I would like to learn of the history that has passed since the last time I remember it, but yes.
Yeah, I'm not that well schooled, so that's as much as I can bring you up. But I think that's the high notes. I think overall, Arcanium's a thing now. I'm guessing that's a big difference.
Then I pointed at the wish dishwasher.
The box is made of it. Is my armor made of it? Or is the wild armor made of something? Wild armor is weird. Yeah.
Something else. Very weird.
Something
Definitely not Arcanium.
Yeah. So yeah, the box is made of it. A lot of shit's made of it, and it makes kind of all of the stuff work.
Trains?
Trains are made of it, yeah. Or at least part of them are, yeah.
Yes. Interesting.
It's it doesn't really change things, but then again, it changes things, right? Like dishes still need to get done. It just changes the way we do dishes. You know, we need to move around a city. It just changes the way we move around a city. It's kind of, yeah.
Well, innovation is wonderful, so I'm very excited to see what else is new. Do we need to do the dishes then, or shall we pick a different job?
We can do them for fun. I don't know. I don't often have dishes to do, so it's different for me either way.
Sure, yes, but a bit of nostalgia, and I'm going to wash some dishes with Ruin.
It's good to not forget the old ways.
I know nothing else, so I'm more than happy to remind you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so if
classic dishes.
you would like to establish a bond off of that, you are more than welcome to.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am.
Mistrust.
I think you should.
No.
This guy's a
I
dick.
don't like you.
Sus.
So super sus.
I am going to jam Miss Buttersby into the little
I seriously
lot.
keep thinking you're gonna say Buttersworth.
It's okay.
and
I fit Miss Fiona Pendergast in mine.
Damn.
Just
How
a little-
fine tipped is your pen?
Not very. I
Yes.
just made it 2 lines. See, guys?
Tell us about that tip. Yeah.
Just the tip.
what that tip do?
What kind of feeling?
I think-
How does loyalty work? Because I feel like, is loyalty the opposite of mistrust? Is that how
It
these
is.
letters are working out?
Yep.
'Cause I
So in
feel like
each of those pairings, you can only ever have one of them checked. So if you have loyalty checked, you can never have mistrust checked.
Yeah.
Like if you have inferiority checked, you cannot have admiration checked.
Okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna go loyalty because I think that's the best one, and I can
It is-
upgrade from-
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. Affection is also an option there. It does not have to be like deep affection.
Romantic
It can
affection.
be, yeah, it can just be like, oh, I kind of trust this person.
Or you're
Mhm.
fond of them, or
Yeah,
something like
to give
that.
you the sort of like reads on them. So there's
I definitely
admiration.
felt more like it was loyalty is the opposite of mistrust, which means that I have trust
Sure.
in them in the information they're providing me.
Yeah.
From the good old book, the
Oh,
good
yes.
book, page 56 of the chapter of bonds. Loyalty is this person has won your trust, or you believe in their ideals. You are ready to endanger yourself to help or protect them.
Oh.
Affection.
Yeah,
Affection
with
is
affection.
you have tender feelings for this person, be they a love interest, a dear friend, or a member of your family. I put
Loyalty.
for Teddy, I put admiration. You believe you have much to learn from this person and deeply respect them for their efforts and achievements. I think watching someone weather the realization that they are 400 years out of time and their first instinct is to go, well, I have so much to learn and catch up on, and I will survive because I have a frying pan. It's like, holy shit, that's way better than I would have done.
This chick's got her head screwed on right.
She's
And-
doing something right. I should probably listen.
So we don't need one from every column. It's just one.
Just one.
Oh, oopsie.
The
You don't
strength-
need one?
What
Yes.
was loyalty
Yeah.
again?
The strength of your bond is represented by the number of emotions that make it up. And you can have any combination of emotions that aren't in opposition to each other. So you can have admiration, mistrust, and hatred. You could have a bond with someone that's like, I don't like this person. I fucking hate them. I don't trust them. But like, goddamn, are they good at what they do? You can have like inferiority, loyalty, and affection, where you're like, I love this person. They're incredible. I would do anything for them. Also, they make me feel like I'm horrible at things. Like you can mix and match there, but you can only ever have one from each pairing.
Yes.
So, and it's
And we
worth
also
pointing
have
out, like,
one against it. I just realized
the-
I haven't put anything in.
the emotions are described as very like end game, end state. Like, what does admiration look like at its furthest point? Role playing wise, admiration does not have to be like you deeply respect this person. It can just be like, oh, I'm starting to develop some respect for this person. And as that bond grows, each of the emotions and how you role play it can grow as well. So you know, you could start out with admiration and just be like, oh, I kind of like kind of what Matt has here, where it's just like, kind of, I dig what this person's, I'm picking up what this person's putting down. Like, I kind of dig that they're like chill about this whole thing. Obviously, you two just met, so Matt's probably not gonna like, it's probably not a deep respect from Ruin to Miss Buttersby, but it is a respect, right? And as that bond grows, the emotions that are associated with it also sort of grow. Not in the rules. The rules are just like, you have admiration, and like that's what it is. But as it grows, you can sort of role play. What does that
And
look like?
also, they do grow in strength in terms of how many of those emotions. So every bond is going to be from strength 1 to 3. So if you have an emotion in every single one of those pairs, that's a 3 strength bond. When you spend a Fabula point to invoke it and add it to a roll, you get to add +3 to your roll, because that bond is so strong, so motivating, that it can bolster your roll by that much.
So, I've got admiration for the bond between Ruan and Saoirse. Would that be admiration, or would that be more loyalty then? What was loyalty again?
This person is one you trust, or you believe in their ideals. You're ready to endanger yourself to help or protect them. And again, like,
That'd be
these
admiration.
are mechanically always the furthest point on loyalty in a role-playing perspective. Like, you obviously don't have to be like, oh, I would fucking die for Ruin right now. Like,
Yeah.
like
Maybe
Doesn't have to be that.
Miss Buttersby would.
yeah, maybe.
Um,
And that's up to
know.
you. But
You don't know.
She
and
protected him in the fight.
in a good example, counterpoint to like the good emotions, hatred, the way that it's described in the book is like, you can scarcely control yourself in the presence of this person and would do anything to see them broken and defeated. Obviously, if you just met this person, you just developed a bond to them, you probably don't want to fucking like burn their house, kill their family, and salt their earth. But like, you might stick your foot out while you're running away from something and trip them, kind of thing, right? Like, it's not.
For anyone confused as to Ruin's reactions last episode to Saoirse, we started with a bond, and I rolled really low for how well Ruin handled Saoirse's constant chatter. So yeah, technically Ruin has a bond of hatred towards Saoirse, but it's not assault your earth. It's just like, ugh, kind of bugs me.
This fucker.
This fucker.
Saoirse
Yeah,
is
it's very
really
this
annoying.
fucker energy. Yes.
Like,
Um,
Saoirse is always dialed up to a 10 and doesn't know how to tone it down.
Yep.
She's annoying as fuck.
And I think the cool thing about this system is that like, you're encouraged to make those bonds stronger and to play with those emotions, and to go, okay, I have this bond of hatred towards Saoirse right now, but like, that might shift to loyalty. You still maybe will never like fucking like her and this weird bubbly personality that you don't understand, but like, you would die for her. And I think that's like a cool. This is a really cool piece
Only
of the bond
I
system.
get to shit on Stursh,
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how bonds work. You two would now have a level 1 bond towards each other with whatever emotion you
Yay.
feel is appropriate. And to remind you, you can spend a Fabula point to invoke that bond. When you do, you have to tell me like why you're using that bond for this scenario, and you get to add that +1 to whatever you roll. Is anyone else doing
We
anything?
finish helping and then we go to bed.
Fiona will actually be diligently taking observations and notes down, just given the entire situation, where she wants to make sure she gets all of her notes down before going to bed. So this is a last-minute, like, word vomit on paper of just everything she might want to consider thinking about in the morning when they have the chance to look at the Pillar Obelisk Space Adventure 2001 kind of thing. So so she'll be by candlelight and be adjusting her glasses, and she will be diligently writing in her notebook just all of the notes that she can think of. She might even be murmuring to herself a little bit of like, no, that's not right. No, it may not be that.
No, that didn't happen like that. It was the other person with the red hair. They said that.
Oh, they said it, dear.
Yeah.
Ah. What are you doing up so late, dear? You should be going to bed too.
I'll get there.
I see. Well, I'm just doing a few notes at least before going off to bed. Just some last minute thoughts before letting my brain take the nice recharge that it needs.
Cool. Have fun with that. I'm gonna go for a walk.
Or is it? I don't know if it'll be safe, dear. The Wild Guard aren't going to be necessarily kind to anyone who might be walking nearby the, what would you call it? The scene of the incident.
I'm not going near them.
Insight check. No. I wonder, is there a way to do an insight check in game?
This would be an opposed check. Probably willpower versus insight, I would say.
I wonder if, hold on. I have my lore master skills up.
Fuck yes!
Okay, I'm actually going to invoke another lore master skill for this called Focused. So, when you perform an open check using Insight, you
This
gain
isn't
a
open.
bonus.
Yeah.
Fuck, never mind.
Just
Well,
opposed.
so, damn it. I'm learning. It's okay.
We're learning.
So I can choose, because it's opposed, I chose willpower. Is it the total, or do I just take the highest?
It's total. Yeah, you add your
Total?
willpowers together.
Bet.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get this up. Insight. See if these two that were on the cup chair last time are going to actually listen to me. Okay, here we go.
Every time those videos come up on my feed, I
I love
giggle
them.
so hard. They're hilarious.
All right, got a decent number. That's an 11.
19.
Of course it is, because it's me.
I rolled a 10 and a
wow.
9.
Yeah, you spiked both dice is what happened. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, that's on you, Taylor. What does Fiona think about what you've said?
As far as Fiona can tell, Sasha's not gonna go anywhere. She's paid for a room. It's getting late. I'm just gonna go and stretch my legs. Chuck a block. Rather than like getting all the thoughts out, like mentally decompressing, you go for a walk and physically do that. Like,
I really chose poorly doing lore master and rolling for shit. Anyway,
no, it's great. But story-wise, absolutely going to one of those pillars.
Okay, dear. Well, don't stay up too late. Hopefully they won't have to impose a curfew. So.
Oh god, that would suck.
And unfortunately, the Wild Guard are not known for their fun. So, just be sure to be safe when you come back.
Heard that. All good.
She will resume back to writing.
I'll see you soon.
And yeah, I will absolutely creep about just to the closest one. I'm not going to go to all 6. I just want to try and eavesdrop on what the wild guards are saying, like what rumors are flying around. If I can get close, like find a hole in their perimeter, see if I can't like take a chip out of it. Because I've got brass, I've got an iron knuckle as well. So if I just punch a chunk of something off it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not a good sound from the DM.
I just want to snoop. I said if
Cool.
I can.
Yeah.
If there's no opening, I'm not going to do it. But
They, I don't know if this is shocking to Saoirse or not, but there's like 2 wild still standing around. Like they are. You see as you're watching, like you see like a sort of drunken reveler stumble past, and they're like, "All right, man, like walk around the big pillar." But they are not paying attention. You can do whatever you want with this thing. They are relying. The wild don't give a shit. Like their job is not keep you from doing something dumb and touching this pillar. Their job is don't accidentally run into the pillar. So. We'll find out what happens, I guess. But yeah, so what would you like to do?
I would absolutely like to get as close to it as possible, staying out of sight and be like, I am the greatest ninja ever. And if there are any, because they fell from the sky, didn't they?
Mm-mm. Came from the ground.
They shot up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, if any pieces broke off as they erupted or anything like that, just take one. If not, try and find any cracks or whatever and just shimmy it out. Take it. Maybe take a couple of sketches of the runes on them.
Yeah. Give me just a flat d20 roll.
17.
Okay. There are no pieces of this thing. From what you can tell, it is the harder of the 2 objects. If one very hard thing runs into another thing, the one that is like weaker is gonna break. And that is definitely what's happened with the ground and these. Nothing to necessarily take. You can try to take a piece off if you would like. You do see you can, I think I will say, like, you get down some of the runes, you can like write down some of what you see that way. And I can send you, if you would like some handouty kind of like what you've written, I can do that.
Yes, please.
But the biggest thing I think you notice is that where the sort of undead creatures came from is closed. Sort of looks like a door. And there is a panel on the outside that looks, we will say, in true video game logic, it looks interactable. If you'd like to touch it, you can touch it.
I would like to touch it.
Okay. As you get close, you see what I think is kind of you can definitely tell that it is hand shaped or appendage shaped, right? It looks like it looks like the gripping appendage of some race. And you're not 100% clear because it only has 2 fingers and a thumb. So it varies, like Spock handy, 3 things for gripping. But it's like the outline of that on this panel.
My hand's not big enough.
They're a little smaller, but like you could definitely it definitely looks like a hand scanning, like a handprint scanner.
Okay. And the undead were like complete skeletons, like humanoid skeletons.
As
They're
far
not
as
missing-
they had armor on. We can roll. Do you want to roll to see if you remember? Give me
Yeah.
Give me an insight. Insight. Roll them both. This is a retroactive study, essentially.
Insight's not as great. 5 and a 6.
Okay. So an 11 total. Thinking back, they definitely were humanoid. They had armor covering most of their bodies. It was a weird armor. It was very like, if you could kind of imagine like techno weave, hi-fi, like science fiction, like bodysuit armor mixed with like armor, like plate mail. That's essentially what it was. It kind of gleamed. It had those nice retro futurist curves, but also still kind of looked like plate armor. And with an 11, yeah, there's none of the bodies left. They've definitely like moved any of the undead away from here. You're pretty sure you remember them having 3 fingers and like having those hands that you see there. You're pretty sure.
I want you to know, you said they moved all the bodies away, and there was a very deep temptation before you said that, because Fabula points can't they can't negate a thing that was said. But I really wanted to spend a Fabula point to say that there was a hand left over at the
Go for it.
I'm
So you
doing
can
it. I'm
you
gonna
can
change
alter
that.
the story. You can't negate what I've said, but you can say, oh, they missed one. They
So,
there was a
they've
hand
taken
that
the
was
bodies
missed.
away.
Yeah.
But there is a hand that was missed. So I'm going to spend one of my Fabula points to say that there is a hand there.
Yeah. You're muted, Taylor.
Yeah, from where Miss Buttersby cleaved one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the greatest.
And that was
I
with
will.
a dull knife.
That's scary. I will pick up the hand, make sure I'm still stealthy, and try my best to align it up on. Oh. No, I'm gonna keep the hand. Nope, I have an ability. It's fine. I have an ability. I'm gonna try and open the door.
Okay. So yeah, you place the hand. You're trying to open the door with the undead hand.
With the
Okay.
undead head, yeah. I don't have very
Um,
high hopes it'll work because it's an undead dude, but
yeah, as you place your hand down, you see the scan. It's the classic like sci-fi hand scanner, beep boop. It flashes one color. Yeah. You see like a little like an ink, like a scanner, like they moves a little light bar along, and then it flashes red.
Not high enough clearance.
And I'll
Me,
say,
level 2, you have level 1.
I'll say with that, like, it's a skeletal hand. Like, it is in the armor. Like, it has, like, kind of armor surrounding it. But, like, it's dead. Like, if it's a biometric scanner, it's very potential, like, that, like, the undead's probably not going to help.
yeah.
Damn it! Well,
It's worth a try. I'm still gonna keep the hand,
Sure.
but to avoid being seen, where is that? I am also going to spend a
Go
Fabula
ahead.
point
I know what you're doing.
And see you later.
I love this ability so much. This is one of the ones that almost had me go rogue.
Yeah, I can spend my action and 1 Fabula point to vanish from my current scene, reappearing wherever I want during a different scene in which another character is present.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, spend your point.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to appear. I'm going to appear back with Fiona.
Yeah. So I mean, in the interest, because you spent a Fabula point for this, I feel like it should be something glorious and not just like you walked away. Like, I think to set your scene up here, you hear, "Hey, what are you doing over there?"
Oh yeah. Hi, I'm not doing anything. I'll see you later.
Cool.
Smoke bomb.
Yeah.
I literally a smoke bomb. I literally smoke
Incredible. Yeah. So I mean,
this game.
you vanish. You see, I think because you're it's smoke bomb tactics. You run behind. I don't know. Who knows? You find your way through so they don't see you. But you see them kind of like walk over and be like, "The fuck was that?"
Some weird little girl managed to sneak past them.
They don't really seem that distraught about it either, though. They're kind of just like, whatever.
I don't get paid enough for this.
I am the greatest ninja alive.
How would she like arrive in the other place if that's just as dramatic as
feel like-
her leaving a scene?
I feel like she's coming
that's-
down the stairs from the rooms. Like she left out a different door and comes back in from a different spot.
Lighting, shine, blue, and green.
You're still up?
Where the hell did you come from?
Upstairs.
I understand that, dear, but
You told me to get some rest. I went for a walk, came back, went upstairs, waited for everybody else. No one came. So here I am checking on you all.
We all have private rooms. What else?
Yep.
Yeah.
oh, I guess I've been up a little too long then. I suppose it's time for me to sleep then. We do have to check on that little pillar though in the morning, so might as well get some rest.
I don't think we need to.
Why do you say that, dear?
I remember some things that may not be in your notes. But we can wait for Ruan and Miss Buttersby in the morning and have a chat over breakfast.
I suppose that's a good idea. Still, it would be hopeful, at least, for me to try and get some of the notes down from the pillar tomorrow. Be able to grab some of the ruins and actually write them down. Try and...
Oh, I remember them.
You can draw them, dear?
Yes. I can draw them again.
What do you mean again, dear?
I've already drawn them.
How could you have drawn them if you weren't anywhere near the pillar, dear?
I was during the fight.
You had time for... It doesn't matter. Sleep is still a good option, so I will see you in the morning and everyone else then. And then while she's like going up the stairs, she's like drawing them again. I could have sworn it was just me by the two pillars. So, kind of in that state of like Delulu of is it like that weird brain space of I'm having epiphanies versus I really need to go to sleep, and it's that weird
Am I being
enigma.
gaslit or am I just tired?
Okay, Los,
There's
no,
no
Los Dos.
malicious or
Oh,
like,
no.
she's-
Well, yeah, I did it.
And yeah, we've had time to kill this evening.
And
All right.
And
So you all going to rest, turn in for the night?
Is there an emotion for gaslit or confusion for the Bond's part?
Mistrust?
You know, I
Say
don't.
Mistrust would-
fits under
Yeah,
that.
mistrust.
I would just
Yeah.
say confusion, honestly.
you don't know that.
That's
also,
why it's confusion
They
for
rolled
me.
so well that you don't mistrust them at all. You believe exactly what they
You
told
believe?
you.
It's just confusion of like, am I gaslighting myself? What actually happened in the fight?
What
Am I
happened?
here?
Sleep. You need sleep.
And yeah, and you don't have to establish a bond here. Like that is not every scene will always end with a bond. You can only have I think 3 bonds total.
6.
Yeah.
6 bonds. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, there's
math.
room for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can erase them as well, but you have to explain like why those bonds are being erased and what
I
that looks
really
like.
shouldn't have done my character sheet in pen.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
classic.
I've done mine in
You
pen.
use the white out.
I don't have
This
that out.
This means
Well.
printing out a new one will be a momentous occasion. Enough
Yeah.
has changed to warrant the next sheet.
It'll just be
'Cause,
the
yeah, like,
one covered in
I'm
pen,
also-
scratched out.
My
Yeah,
note
I'm,
so
not, I'm not gonna
far-
have any idea on how, like, what it actually truly is when it's all just like everything's erased, put back, erased, put back.
Cool. Okay. Turning in for the night then. Any last
Mhm.
things? All right. As you all
Are there any new fun inventions that are in the room? Is there
I
a
don't know.
Roomba?
Yeah, sure. There's like a little it looks kind of like a garden gnome. And it's not 100% clear like what it does, but you see I don't know. We'll say as you walk in, you like set your bag down and a little bit of like dust sort of falls off of the stuff that you have because who knows how long it's been around. And as it kind of like goes around the floor, you see the gnome's eyes glow for a second. And it just sort of like whoop, poofs out of existence. The dust.
I thought you meant the gnome, and I was like,
No.
I hate that.
Yeah, no
Um,
thanks.
Just gonna pick up the gnome and just put it somewhere it can't see. Nah,
In a cupboard, like the Furbies I used to
Out the
put in my
window.
childhood.
just put my bags in like a V shape around it so I can't see it.
Is there the equivalent of like a vibrating bed or anything
Oh,
made
God,
out of
okay.
There's
arcanium?
gotta be. That has to exist. 100%. I'm spending the point if it doesn't. I'm
Yeah.
spending the point.
I mean-
around the entire hotel.
No. What it is like one of us ended up spending the money. There's only so many like single rooms, but then there's like the lover's suite or something
Oh,
like that where it has the
no.
vibrating bed, and you're just like,
Oh no.
I have
I'll spend fabulous.
this being a like owned by an ex barge creator, like shipwright, like there's like a lot of things about this that are just like real weird. But yeah, I mean, sure, if you want there to be some weird lover's suite, you gotta yeah, sure, there's a vibrating bed in one of the rooms.
I'll spend the point, man.
Yeah,
unless
go for
you
it.
Want to. I'll spend it. I'll do it.
Amazing.
This
This is our new favorite mechanic: is spending these points
Yeah.
for shit that does not matter in any way, but we just find joy in.
What we need to do is because these are so easy for us, we need to give the audience a couple to spend during the
That's
episode.
true.
I've got some thoughts on audience points for this, so
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
we'll definitely
That could be a
be throwing
Patreon
some
thing.
in. I think we're gonna do
I love.
both.
I think because like I have 218,000 points. Like let me spend some.
The only reason I don't have that many is I spent like 50,000 in a TPK stream at one point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I literally did that too. I spent 50,000 to create a T-Rex, and I still have this.
I remember
many.
that.
Yeah, sure. So you know what? Because you Ultima pointed for this, we'll give you for one roll, whatever roll you want, In the next day, you can add a +1 to it.
Yeah.
One you got the
Well-rested.
nice well rested buff.
Nice.
Yeah, you can make a note of that. Yeah, one roll you can get a +1.
And we all get
I
a
want you-
-1 because there was just that vibrating noise.
We're all just hearing the. Colin, I want you to know you said the well-rested buff, and instantly my whole body lost like a year of tension from just the nostalgia wave that happened.
Yeah,
I'm loving this. This is
Yeah.
so good.
we're
Someone else
leaning
remember
in.
What a full night's sleep is.
Yeah, that's the real fantasy of
That's the real
TTRPGs
fantasy.
is that you have a group
Yes.
of friends that lives close to you and you all get a full night's sleep every night.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Unheard of.
Truly wild.
Yeah.
What
3
is
meals
this?
a day? Just
Fantasy.
made for us?
Yes.
Wait, there's 3?
What?
I thought it was just. You get 3 meals a day? I thought it was just. Oh, well. Never mind.
You all are getting paid. Cool. Okay. Yeah, any last things before we roll into the next day?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
As you fall asleep,
Mm.
we're gonna
You
cut
safe?
quickly. Yeah, you're safe. You get your we get the nice little like boop, 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 music that plays, and game saved. You all have full MP, HP, any status effects, which none of you have, are removed. But as you all fall asleep, we're gonna cut to our first GM scene.
Yeah.
We start in darkness. The sounds of the city faded and low above. And as we look down what appears to be a sewer, an underground tunnel of some kind, suddenly a hand sort of dehydrated, the skin hanging from weakened muscle and bone, reaches forward, claws its way through the water in these sewers. As the right hand comes forward, this human appearance of hand, and then the left hand forward, this one humanoid but encased in shining silvery metal. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you all 1 Fabula point, because not everybody knows the rules. We'll go ahead and read this. Whenever a villain makes an entrance during a scene, even if it's a game master scene where the player characters are not present, not the president, none of you are president, I'm sorry, are not present,
Yes.
each
Yes.
player immediately
Spend a
receives 1 Fabula
to
point.
become president.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, none of you see this. This is a purely interstitial, story moving along
It's a
game master
cutscene.
scene. It's a
It's a
cutscene.
cutscene.
But yeah, mysterious figure in the sewers.
Metallic hand.
And as we fade off of that, we're gonna go ahead and transition into our break really quick. So
Oh.
we'll be back. Let's take 5-ish minutes. Come back at 7:43 EST. A little around that time. But until then, everybody enjoy your bathroom snacks. Grab your whatever, your bathroom olives and all that good stuff. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes. See you all
Real
again.
quick.
Yes.
Yes. For our giveaway, we're going to be giving away a $25 gift card. So make sure, and while our break is running, put in the word Fabula, Fabula, to be entered to win a $25 gift card for Into the AM.
That's my nickname in
See you on
Do
the
it
college.
now,
other side
though.
of break.
Do it when the screen comes up.
We'll do it now. You can do it now. That's
Oh.
okay. That's also fine. I started it. It's okay.
All right. We will see you all in 5 minutes. Hello, everyone. We're back. We did it. I hope you had a good bathroom snack. We got our winner of our thing. Congratulations, La Sombra Dark.
Yay, La Sombra!
First time chat coming in here swinging hot with a win.
Yeah.
Good job.
What's the Sombra line from Overwatch? Something Las Luces. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, welcome, first time chatter. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to us playing some Fabula Ultima. I hope you like TTRPGs, and if not, I hope you like cool t-shirts. Definitely go check out, even if you... Go ahead.
Be sure you have your whispers open just so
yes.
that we can get all the right
I just
info
messaged
for
that.
you. Gotcha. Never mind.
But yeah, if you didn't get a gift card, still go check out Into the AM, because they got cool, fun t-shirts. And look, Haley's back. Everyone shame Haley.
We can't shame Haley. She's too perfect.
System's compromised.
And if you still have the ability to get a discount, I think through one of our codes for Into the AM.
Boy.
So even if you did, oh dear God, even if you didn't get the gift card, there is still a bit of a discount for when you go towards Into the AM, and they just have cool shit. So go support our amazing sponsors, and you know, it's all the good stuff.
and they're not a sponsor, but if you're enjoying Fabula Ultima, definitely go check out Needs Games. This game is incredible. We're all, I think, really enjoying it, and I highly recommend it. It is one of my new favorite systems for sure. Little ping for a game that doesn't sponsor us in any way, but we enjoy. Matt, you have a face.
Now, if you want to sponsor us.
Sponsor?
What?
You want to sponsor us with a spanner?
Oh, God.
Be one of our spanners. But it is a fantastic game, and y'all should check it out.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump on right back in to where we left off as we sort of faded to black off of the Game Master scene, introducing a character crawling through the sewers.
Weird, creepy, undead metal hand thing. What's happening?
So you all wake up the next morning. Nothing too different from where you were. Nothing seems to have really happened throughout the night. No new eruptions of, we've avoided any nighttime eruptions, and you are all awakening good to go in the morning.
Surprisingly, given that bed.
Yeah. Yeah, Mel, I think you're.
I had a great night's sleep.
Boost you a little bit.
No.
Well, probably can see that on stream potentially. I don't know if you can or not. It's all good. But yeah, so you all wake up. As you come downstairs, you see the bartender, sort of as a thanks for all of the stuff that you've done and also doing the dishes, has prepped you all like a pretty nice breakfast. You got some good bacon and eggs and whatever thing you would want. There's even like a Cheerios substitute in this world, whatever that is, like, or a Lucky Charms, this little marshmallow grain cereal. And yeah, you have a nice meal in the morning. What would you all like to do?
Sasha, Oh, go on.
Are we wanting to investigate the thingies, or are we just chalking that up as a weird thing that happened?
I would very much like to have the opportunity to get a little bit closer. Unless we all think there's a higher priority. Well, I guess you could say there is an ulterior motive towards my wishes and desires too. As one of the students and one of the members of one of the colleges, to go back would not be the best idea without having some form of notes or knowledge of some sustenance, hopefully, towards the college.
I'm not one to stand in the way of curiosity, so I'm more than happy to help you.
Taylor, you're muted.
You muted.
How? No, I'm not.
Oh,
Now
you were
you
just
are.
super quiet.
You were just quiet. Sorry.
Taylor was
no,
just
I-
whispering.
No.
No. Well, if we want to do some research, Fiona, I said that I had some sketches of the runes.
Do
you
yes, last night.
Yes, do you recognize any of these? Or do you remember any of these?
And I lay out what I've got.
And in that case, I would like to do a Could I technically do
SpongeBob.
No, but now I'm thinking
Elevator
of
music to your train of thought. The SpongeBob opening intro. It really.
Are you ready, kids?
Yo.
I love how it's my subconscious thought and not my conscious mind that made me sing all that, so that's great. In that case, could I possibly do focus this time, or is this not an open check?
This is not. So.
What is an open check? I guess is the better.
Yeah.
question.
So That is a wild ability. Focused. When you take that ability, you permanently increase your mind points by that number. So if you didn't do that, first and foremost.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. And then when you perform an open check.
Second half.
Gotcha. Yeah. So an open check is there's essentially like 3 general kinds of checks in this game. There are opposed, where you are against something and both of you are going to roll. There are just regular checks, which is like you need to beat X number, and like whatever that number is, if you beat it, you're good. Open checks are like you're doing a thing, you're going to roll insight, and if you get above a 7, something good happens. Like something happens. If you get above a 10, something happens. If you get above a 13, like it's not bounded by just a like pass fail. It's bounded by like how well did you roll. Okay.
Yeah, because I guess the question I have is with looking at the sketches that Saoirse did, would that be an open check or is that just a regular check?
Yeah. So I will say this. I guess you can use both of these things at the same time, I think. You also have you took Flash of Insight, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so you also have that one. Okay. So I will say it is an open check because this is sort of just a like how much do you know about these things? Yeah. So go ahead and roll. It's an insight. So you can add, I think it's skill level as a bonus when you do this. Mm-hmm. So it's insight plus whatever you put into that. And if you would like, I believe you can also, because you're investigating like the runes, like this thing, you can also use Flash of Insight if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Because I would get... Yeah, I'd get a question that comes out of it just because I took the 1. So if I roll past the 13, then it would be that. So please, for the fucking love of God.
Do you have a trait that you could spend a Fabula point on to re-roll those dice? Get them to behave.
You 100% do.
I do. Hold on a second.
Your origin is the college. Like, you can just invoke that as, like...
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can re-roll 1 or both of your dice with that.
I'm going to do both because it was a 1 and a 2, so...
Oh my god!
Matt, this is me, okay?
I know, but at some point, your dice gotta cooperate.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time, so... or at least my characters aren't, so... Let's do this again. Come on. Fucking Christ. Oh my god, that's so much better. 17 all time.
Okay.
Yes!
Rad. Okay. So, to give you an idea of what a 17 is on an open, like, roll, like, in the table that it gives you, it is a result worthy of being remembered in history, which is an insane level of, like, doing that thing. But, so... This is a little weird for that. So you absolutely get the question from Flash of Insight. But what I'll say about this is that this is the knowledge of lack of knowledge. You know that no one knows how to translate these runes. Like, I will say, whatever question you have, absolutely. And you know basically everything there is to know about these runes from like first principles up to this point, which is about so far as to say they're ancient, like ancient with a capital A. They're like the original race, the thing that the 5 gods were. No one knows how to translate them. They only ever show up on ancient sites like this that have been found usually underground. And they seem vaguely related to the language of magic, the language that the song is thought to have been like written in. But
what I study.
Yeah. And so any question that you have about that, like I'll work within those bounds, but like
Yeah.
essentially the big thing that you get from this is that like you know exactly how much you don't know about this thing. Like
Yeah.
the knowledge is in the lack of knowledge, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
You're on the bleeding edge.
Mhm.
I'm on the edge.
And that bleeding edge is
'Cause
like 3 research papers and a book. Like that's the extent of what has been like covered in these things because
and
they're so
one
rare.
opinion paper.
Yeah. And one dude who's just like, this is definitely a conspiracy theory from
Yeah, I was
the
just gonna say a conspiracy theory.
like one dude who's just like,
Birds aren't real.
proof that the moon landing was fake, and everybody's just like, what moon landing are you fucking talking about?
Birds aren't real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, because I think with that ability, let me just double check it.
So I'll read
so
it out
I
loud.
could either use
Oh,
it
go ahead.
or I could save it for later.
Mhm.
So I think just for right now, I want to save it, and maybe could there be the potential of me using it in between
Yeah.
episodes, just in case
So-
there's more like behind the scenes stuff.
We'll write this down as like add it to your character sheet. You can almost like add it to like your equipment inventory kind of thing of just like one
Yeah.
banked question about ancient runes. And like we'll know that that's related to this, and whenever it comes up, if you want to use it at some point,
Yeah.
like you just let me know and we'll figure out how that works here. The nice thing about that, like kind of for me, the way that this reads is that just like you can ask the question now if you had like a moment that you were just like, oh shit, like what is this thing? Or you know, this is the moment later in the book where like the character has a flash of insight, has a realization that connects back to this thing, and now you're using this question in the future.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it locked in my pocket.
Cool.
I think then with that as the response, Fiona just like gets wide-eyed, like her eyes are just the size of saucers, where it's like the meme of having all of the math equations like flash on the screen and stuff, and just all of that like big brain power being used.
The hangover scene where he's
Yeah, that one. And it's she's just like wide-eyed and like almost shaking where she's standing just from the pure excitement and trying to like contain it all. And it's like, you all have no idea what this means. Do you any of you know what this means?
Not a clue.
No.
This is the language of the ancients. Runes from our ancestors, the first ones who walked. The lady, the lord, the gods, everything. There is so much we don't know. And this is amazing.
Cool. Did they
I
have
know
3
gods can write.
fingers?
Sorry, Saoirse?
What?
What did you say, Ruin?
I said I didn't know gods could write. Why do you think they have 3 fingers?
Oh, because the hand that Miss Buttersby chopped off had 3 fingers.
I hadn't even noticed.
Yeah,
Oh,
see?
Curious detail
Oof.
indeed. Oh,
Oh, God.
my.
Oh shit! Ah.
Breakfast table.
This is like so far undead that it is literally just like a skeleton. Like there's not even like
Yeah.
there is no
No
meat.
meat.
Or anything on it. It is just bone.
Did
It's
it
just being
have-
held
did
together
it
by
have
the armor.
meat earlier?
No, they were
Okay.
just
They were ancient and
skeletons.
dusty to start with.
Just dust on
Alright.
the table. Does it have 3 fingers?
It does. Little-
Oh, that's new. Live long and prosper. Can't say that.
Is this one of your creatures that writes in this language?
Is
Miss,
it one of
wait,
the
Miss
creatures?
Pendergast.
Is it one of the creatures? Like, Is it something that the ancients might have? Okay.
You know what you know.
Is it not one of the ancients?
The
It's with the writing. Does it have
yep.
anything on it?
Just the weird armor that is
Yes. The weird armor. Does the weird armor have anything on it?
just
Nope. Okay.
armor.
I mean, this is
Break
so
all your teeth.
amazing.
Oh my.
There is very little that we know about the ancients other than the stories and stuff. Not really anything with a solid, tangible item. But now that we have these sketches provided by our friend Saoirse, we could be one step closer towards figuring out more of the song, and even more about the gods and the ancients.
Oh, so you're like
Song?
a super nerd.
Well,
sounds-
my studies specifically are towards the divine song, what it is, and how magic came to be. So this is how we say, right up my alley.
You used that correctly, and yet it sounded really wrong when you said it. But this is great. Cool. What do we do with this?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. The on the door thingamabobby that all of these creatures came out of, there was like a scanning pad. But given that this thing is so dead, it won't open the door.
So,
Did they originally
we-
come out of the door? Or out of the ground? Do you remember?
I remember they
Do
can't-
remember?
I think they came out of a door. I think that's what
They came
Colin
out of
said.
the door.
Okay.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, we might have to go back towards the artifact, for lack of a better word, and see if we can investigate further, see if there's any more hints or clues of how to open it. Besides willingly sticking someone's warm hand on the control device of any sort.
Is there a
If
way
you
to make
said-
the flesh grow off of the bone? Like, can you make that fleshy again?
Oh, that would probably be the work of a necromancer, if anything else. I certainly don't have that ability.
I can stop time briefly, but I can't rewind it.
Oh my.
Although, if we were to go back towards the College of the Lady, maybe we might be able to ask some of the higher-ups. See if they can recommend anyone. Any other subject matter experts in the field.
Yeah, because maybe they'll be able to get us past the wilds.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you do have an in.
I know a few people who are in the wilds, but nothing of the caliber, I don't think, that you might be referring to. They tolerate me
Yuki.
at best.
You're very tolerable.
Well, thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate it. Thank you.
That was a genuine compliment.
Sorry, an overactive mind can sometimes double take on some things.
Yeah, don't
Ah.
overthink it. It's like it's good to be smart, and I don't know that this is clearly cool and clearly novel and something we should figure out. You should figure out. I don't know. I'm here. Let me know when you need something to get hit.
You will
Well,
not join
I-
us?
I mean, I don't particularly have anything else going on. Seems like a big deal, and I kind of like being around big deals because they tend to pay well.
And the treatment we've had at this establishment ever since helping has been quite wonderful.
That's been pretty good. Like, this is a great breakfast. So, yeah, I mean, if that could continue, then sure, I'm hanging out.
Yes.
Well, Sir Ruin, I can guarantee you that at least with any sort of knowledge that we could collect back towards the college, they certainly have a big endowment. And they have very decent funds towards anyone who is willing to provide information. You shush. Any information.
I was legitimately Saoirse.
That's the best.
any sort of information that we give back to the college to further improve their endeavors, they are more than willing to pay for.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm not a
we'll
sir,
crew
but
back
I'm in.
together, Ruin!
Oh yeah, great. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Have a breakfast ale. They have those, right? They gotta have one of those.
Yeah, it's called the hair of the dog, right?
Appetizing.
I'm turned to Ruin and I'm like, it would be interesting to see if the Buttersby name has endured all these years.
I think at this point, Ruin has maybe keyed in on the idea that she might have outlived her family, but is on that right now and is just like, yeah, that's another thing that should be checked up on.
Did you say Buttersby?
Yes.
The name
that is my
endure.
name.
They are some of the biggest contributors to the College of the Lady. They're the reason
Big
why
old
we
lady
have-
endowment.
That is good news.
Everyone
I am
loves a
glad that the
well-endowed
family has
lady.
stayed charitable.
Well, we have one of the best libraries throughout all of the colleges. Anything you could ever ask a question about, it would be there. It would be interesting to cross-reference everything to see, though, if we could find even more information about the song based off of all of these ruins. Oh, this is so exciting! I cannot wait for the opportunity to look over all this again.
Quite.
Are you gonna make learning boring?
Learning is always fun, dear.
I want to go look at the pretty building. I'm just gonna scoop Sish's arm and just start walking in a direction.
God, it is getting so much easier for me to do all of this scientific and analytical stuff.
I'm here
God.
for it.
Are we, Fiona, are you done? Are we following them? They seem to be going. I'm gonna take that sandwich.
We're done.
Yes, okay. Quickly, like, frantically gathers all the papers and, like, starts perusing through them to try and follow up behind, Ruin.
Are we going to the shard thingy or to the colleges?
I guess to the shard thing first.
Such
Take notes before we go.
Mhm.
You said you
Yeah.
wanted to gather information. I am going to
Yes.
help with your curiosity. I'm going to talk to the wild.
Oh, wait. Oh, this shard is in the thing you're picking up, not the stained glass shard thing.
Not that. Yeah,
Mhm.
Not
Okay.
that one.
Oh, okay.
not the stained glass clock tower. The
We're just gonna go to the clock tower and look at the history because that's
Yeah.
what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm not that
These are pretty
self-absorbed.
pictures!
No. That's okay. That was my misunderstanding. All good.
No, I did say let's go look at pretty buildings at the college, but I forgot that we were gonna go take notes at the shard first. That's just my bad, being like, I want to move the scene forward so we can talk about something relevant.
The wild are gone. There's nobody. They seem to have, if you had to assume, they probably have deemed that this is like not dangerous actively, and have gone back to the college.
Garma.
What was that?
Oh, just glad that it's sort of cleared out. No one seems to be making a big deal out of it. Easier for us to inspect and stick the super nerd on it. Go!
Yes.
Right away! And immediately just starts, like, walking right past Ruin with the mention of summon the super nerd.
Yeah.
Ruins-
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be curious enough to see, like, confirm that the runes on the shard thingy are not the same ones that are on the armor, but otherwise very much leaving the research to Fiona.
Yeah. So I think first and foremost, doing that, the first thing you see is that there's no more runes on the side of this thing. Potentially, part of the reason that maybe the wild backed off is that it seems dead. It is whatever was powering it, whatever was keeping it a thing, seems done.
Are the doors still there?
So you would, I think, sort of piecing it all together, you definitely saw the undead things come through a opening.
Right.
You don't see a door. Whatever it is sealed flush. There's not even a gap between where the door looks like it would have been and like that. There is still a panel.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Where presumably the door is, but
Well, this looks quite different than last night. Maybe the lighting has changed quite a bit.
I think it's more than the lighting. This feels... That's sign for fucky.
Ah, I see. That is new.
Mm-hmm.
That
What
was
was it?
She.
This one.
Yeah, that wasn't here last year. Yeah,
No.
that one.
I mean, we know
So
now
she-
it was much further than that.
So did Sasha misheard? Instead of hearing that's the sign for all fucky, she hears fuck you. She's like, I thought that was this sign, and she flips off.
Oh lord, no.
Now that is a sign I remember.
Okay, good. You had that one. Cool. I didn't know. It's good to know.
Mm.
No, this is different. Were the runes like carved into the weird shard thing metal?
yeah, from first glance, yes. They seemed to be part of the structure, carved in the way that runes that are the closest thing you would have to this, similar to your armor and similar to other inscribed bits of technology, they are carved in. What you do probably know is that like a wand is a piece of wood that has been inscribed with some spell, right? And when it loses its charge, the runes go away, but the material tends to still exist. It is just magically dead. And so it can't be recarved once it has been inscribed once. It like whatever thing grants it the ability to hold magic, once it is dead, it's gone. And so similar here, like these seemed to be carved into the side of this building, this shard thing, but are gone the way that inscribed magic goes away.
You think all of them have run out at the same time?
Now that would be interesting. But if the wild are gone from this one, I would imagine it means they don't think any of them are a threat, unless they think... I mean, we could always double check. There's got to be at least one on the way to the colleges, right? Assuming that's our next stop.
It is a good
Would be-
idea.
She'll like keep walking around and kind of like have that sort of look. Well, I'd imagine that the wilds we would be able to reconvene with them on our way over towards the college. But this leads me to a hypothesis that maybe these shards were meant to deliver something, because clearly the ruins are gone. One-time use. Now, as to whether they have all of the same usage in between us, however many are throughout the city, is another question. And unfortunately, I don't think we really have time at the moment to investigate all of them.
There's nothing special about the year, right? It's not like they were powered by the festival and the...
This festival's
Aurora.
happening since before I was here.
Right. I just didn't know if it was like... on the 12th moon of the 14th deca year, some bullshit like that. I don't know,
I mean,
man.
It definitely could be.
And it definitely
Very
was
good.
connected to the lights. Like the lights got brighter.
Lights were different.
Yeah.
That is certainly something that we can investigate further in the library, so a very good call, Sir Ruin.
Not sir. Yeah, sure. Let's go to the library.
Well, then how would you prefer to me to address you?
You could just say Ruin. Or that guy. Or you. Bub. All functional.
You didn't let me call you Bub.
I mean, if you really want to call me Bub, you can call me Bub. I didn't think it was that big of a I don't have nicknames.
You do now.
Fuck.
Well then, I'd say it's about time that we head over towards the college. We must make haste! And immediately just starts walking.
Make haste!
Oh.
Just starts walking after. Is there? Can we plot our route past one of the other
Sure.
big pillar thingies? Cool.
Yeah. So, I guess technically this is our first travel scene, which I know there's some special stuff y'all have. At least some of you.
Mine would just give me inventory points if I were missing any, but
Gotcha.
I didn't have to use any. So
Okay. I guess in this situation, there's probably not a lot that will happen then. We're not gonna like have a random encounter probably right now because we are still rolling through this, but potentially on the way back, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think generally you make it to the colleges, no problem. Skirt past another one of the pillars. Same deal. It looks unpowered. You don't see any of the wild around. I think as you get a little bit closer to the college, I'll say there's like a third one that you kind of pass by. And you see at this one, there are a few people who kind of look like Fiona, like scholarly types who are out and about, like taking notes, trying to like gain some insight from these. It seems they are all mostly remarking from what you can hear on the fact that like they are inert and like not doing what they were doing from the eyewitness accounts that they have from the night before. And people seem very like sad. like you see a lot of like real nerdy scholarly people just kind of like, damn it, like I was really hoping we would be able to kind of see the ruins and stuff, and like it doesn't seem like many of them had access to the ruins the way that like, or the runes the way that like Saoirse did. So you might have something good on your hands there. But yeah, you make it to the college. There are 5 colleges. They're each have a little bit of a different thing going on. Fiona, you are at the
College of the Lady.
The Lady. Sorry, I'm pulling up the information about the college.
The lady.
Just like all academia, it is gate kept, so we are keeping a hold of all of these.
So there's 5 colleges, one for each of the gods. The Giver's College is the most well-respected and difficult to get into. It focuses on rare theoretical magic. The Ladies' College is where many theoretical magicians spend their time. The Ladies' Library is the greatest collection of magical knowledge in Caerwyn. The Lord's College is the home of many practical magicians. The Magician's College is the most powerful practical magic school that is like just straight up casting spells, like using magic to change the world. And then the Acolytes College is extremely secretive, and there is no tower for it. From what you can tell, there is no like physical location that anyone is like super aware of. Each of them looks a little bit different. The Giver's College is a stark white stone with veins of fiery crystal glowing lightly throughout, kind of veined in throughout this like Marvel-esque structure. The Ladies' College is pure obsidian color, the same color as the Wild's armor. The Lord's College is made of shimmering metallic bricks that kind of like sort of non-Euclideanly twist and grow with like life and magical energy. It looks like it is alive, but made of metal as well. And then the Magician's College is also ivory white, but with arcanium sort of studded throughout all the way to the top, presumably with different like practical functionality. And like I said, no tower for the Acolytes College, and as far as anyone knows, its location is a like very well guarded secret. So yeah, you're on the college grounds. There are a lot more wild around now. They don't seem to be really taking like interest in many of the people. There's a lot of people around now too. Like the colleges are very well populated, and this is in the center of the city. The main castle of the city also surrounds the Giver's College, and you would know the High King resides in the tower as well.
And this new king, he's the one with the sword, correct?
The sword still exists. Does the king care about the sword? Does he like wield the sword?
Yes, this is very like Arthurian. The High King holds the sword, and the bond between the High King of the Middle Empire and the like oath made to the Morrigan is like what gives the Wild their powers.
Yes. Cool. So yeah, the king holds the crazy magical weird sword that the Morrigan gave back all the way to some guy whose name starts with an A that killed Eklund. Yeah.
Yes, those smoke hands.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's somewhere around here. I've only seen it once.
Quite interesting.
That would be Alsteer who ended up using the sword to kill Eklund the king.
That guy.
Heresy.
Blasphemy! No.
That traitor!
Traitor! That traitor and every traitor since, apparently.
You would actually know. I think Teddy would know the name Alsteer is like well known from the time of Eklund.
Oh,
He was the right hand of Eklund. Like was basically like his his like vizier, like and probably not. Teddy probably wouldn't know this.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
Was Eklund a good king to the rich?
Probably not, actually.
No.
He was
A
great.
hero!
He was great to start. So Eklund was the one that kind of united a lot of the kingdoms together in Allendove, and
I feel like I could stand that.
he was sort of concerned with like the welfare of the city and the people, but in doing so, he fell victim to the stories of strange power beneath the soil of Allendove, and kind of obliterated the economy and the farmlands and the area around the castle in search of power underground.
Yes, understand.
And Alsteer, yeah, probably wouldn't be a great friend of.
Must be made.
Well, probably wouldn't be a great friend of anyone. Like, it wasn't great for the like lower people who were like farmers and shit, because like their land was getting destroyed, and also it kind of tanked the economy unless you were like very specifically in the business of searching for powerful magical artifacts deep underground. Like, probably wasn't great for anybody.
Okay, fine. Then they're not traitors. Whatever. We find something new every day. New kings take the throne. It doesn't matter.
Now you're in the spirit of it.
Indeed. Has there been a queen?
Not too.
I think that's how you make princes. So
No.
Yeah.
Like there is the king.
Yes, they are all titled High King, but there have been, in the line, there
High
have been
Queens.
women with the title of High King.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that more. Are we there yet?
You're at the colleges.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm aware, if we wish to split up, some of us could attend to the Wild Guard while they're here, ask them a variety of questions. And there's also the libraries that are inside, so we could easily slip in there. Maybe even see if there's a couple of other professors that we'd be able to ask for insight for with regards to the hand situation.
this hand, right? She said,
Yes, that
yeah.
one.
Ah.
Butterby said
But I-
creepy hand, and I was thinking the other one.
No, not that one. I think though, seeing Ruin start to like put his hand up, she just walks over and immediately like pushes it down.
Ah,
We
fuck,
are-
okay, yeah.
We are in the moment of great discovery. We cannot allow any of our other compatriots here to find out any of the information that we have. Secrecy is one of
Ah.
the key things with regards towards academia.
Girl boss, gatekeep, girl boss.
Gotta-
Gaslight.
No, she's
Girl
just in
boss
the
gatekeeper.
No,
background.
there hasn't
putting
been
the
any
hands
gaslighting happening so
back
far,
in
so
her
I
bag.
should chuck it in there. A little bit of gaslighting from Saoirse, but neither here nor there. Saoirse,
No, no.
would you like to take a turn about the gardens? Library's
Sure.
not my thing.
Okay, so y'all on wild duty, and we're on library duty.
I think that's the best way to split it.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm all in favor.
I'm glad one of us are at least excited about the libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Let's get to reading.
never mind. I guess it is just me.
No, yes, I am excited. Maybe not like in the same way that you are, but I am excited about the opportunity to get in the library and away from the wild.
Just hones in on the first part and not the second part. Oh,
Focusing-
wonderful!
Focusing on the positive, yeah.
Immediately grabs Rune's hand and just immediately starts walking, like kind of like the anime Yank, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
little
meet us in the library.
Cloud,
Freda.
ruin-shaped cloud hangs in the air for a
Ruined
second.
cloud where he once was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go ahead. We'll start with the garden crew. Teddy and Saoirse, what are you doing?
Looking for any of the wild?
Yes.
They're everywhere.
I don't know what we're going to talk to them about, honestly. Do you think
Maybe
that they're
just-
going to talk to us?
Why not? I mean,
I
you're
guess so.
beautiful.
Oh. You are too kind.
So
We should. Let's go. Let's fuck it. Let's give it a try.
I like it. Okay. Picasso.
Yes. I'm gonna try and find some wild that look tired and sick of what they're doing right now.
Yeah. None of them do. They all are,
Well-rested?
nope, they are all fully coated in head to toe a black obsidian armor that sort of shimmers and glows with these purple runes that are like inlaid into it, up to and including a helmet that sort of is in front of their faces. You can't see anything on any of the
I
ad
hate
duty
that.
ones.
Any of them leaning against a pillar or a pole or a wall to show
You know
that they are more casual than the others.
You know the Queen's Guard, like at the castle in like Britain? Yeah, that. Stock straight, unwavering in there.
I think that we should find something else to do. You can go and talk to them if you like.
Be bored, brainless.
I look like I'd be bored, brainless, trying to have a conversation with them. But please, if you want, I could encourage you.
I mean, you already are. But if they're bored, brainless, and we start up a conversation with them, then maybe they'll be like, hey, these guys are talking to us, and be more loose-lipped.
I've never seen a creature that keeps quite most of it covered to be something you would call loose-lipped. But, there's no harm in trying, I guess. Go on, you've got this, and I push you along, and I would like to spend 5 mind points to encourage. And so I don't know how it's gonna work because this works as like during this turn. So I don't know how turns work if we enter the scene, if we go into turns or whatever. But you get 5 hit points, which I don't know if you can go above max. But you get 5 hit points and 1 dice higher of your choice until my next turn.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing this, we're doing this. It can be a conflict scene, as you are. I mean, we. Go ahead.
They also say that if you use like a skill that has like round or turn as its timing in a non-conflict scene, it's like enough to affect the next thing you do, and then it ends.
Yeah, okay. We'll start there, because we don't necessarily have to get directly into like an actual conflict scene with this. But yeah, what are you doing? What are you saying to him? You've got this until your next thing.
I'll just
I do nothing until she's got it forever.
going up to them. like skipping.
I pull out a fan.
So, did you hear about what happened last night?
Important question. How close do you get?
Right up in the
I
face.
do not.
All right. When you are exactly an arm's length away, you are stopped hard by a hand, just straight out into whatever you were running at them with. They just stop you, and you hear from behind this sort of armored mouth, "Please keep your distance, ma'am."
Sorry. Hey, look at that.
That's
I've just
so
seen
cool.
it. I think that's so cool.
On the overlay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to ask. Did you get to see or witness any of the excitement last night?
All questions should be directed to wild leaders.
You're not a leader. You look really important.
All questions should be directed to the captain. Questions
I'm
about
directing them at
personnel.
Might we inquire where the captain is? Like,
You can find them.
My head over the side.
You can find the office of wild. What word am I looking for? Not like
Wild
personnel.
card?
Oh my god, this is what happens when I try to improv. Like, what is the word for like PR? Like communications. Public relations. Thank you.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, I can remember
Oh, okay.
PR, but I couldn't remember the words
Yeah.
that made that thing up. Yeah. You can direct all questions to the Office of Wild Public Relations, the first floor of the Givers College.
Thank you, sir. And I want to shepherd. I mean, you can stay if you want to, but I gently try and guide you away. I'm like, I told you it was going to be useless.
Do you ever get bored standing here?
You can direct all questions
I think they're a
To-
robot.
to the Wild Public Relations Office on the first floor of the Givers College.
What is a robot?
Something made entirely out of metal, and they have a particular like enchantment on them. They can only do certain things. I'm not 100% sure, but they're not like you and me.
I see. Nothing quite like you, is there? Do you...
There's plenty like me. But-
no.
Thank you.
I don't know if that was... Do you want to go find public relations? See if we can ask them some questions there that you have.
Sure.
Sure? Alright.
Ground floor of
The Giver College.
Giver? There we go.
Yes. Let's go find our way.
Okie dokie.
See if we can get lost in the process.
Fine.
I'm still chuckling at the phrase "the wild public relations office." You just walk in.
Wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, just wild and crazy guys.
Party, yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
Okay, let's jump real quick over to the library crew. Where are you headed? Ladies' library?
Yes.
Getting in the ladies' books.
Well, she has quite a variety that we can choose from.
She's got great books. Huge stacks of books.
There are scrolls,
Racks and
too.
racks of them.
Racks. Full to bursting.
Well, a few did burst that we do have to replace, but that will be for funding that comes later. Anyway.
It's a shame. I hear that's what happens. It kind of wears on your spine if you got too much Your shelves are too full.
A decent amount.
If your pages are too
Usually they
bountiful,
require.
your spine gets a
Usually they
little
require a little-
weakened.
Yeah.
They usually require a little more support.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Nice firm binding.
We're not talking about books anymore, are we?
I kind of lost the joke lasted far too long, and I'm in the weeds now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's just go actually look at some books.
Okay. I have a feeling that for the distinct type of research that Fiona does, it's like in the reads, for lack of a better word, to take Matt's wording. It's like in the archives, like this is like the very back of like the whole, library, and it's like reference books that you're not allowed to take out and this kind of thing. And I'd imagine it's one shelf and like that's it. And like references of like other stuff is like on other shelves that might be pertinent and might not. But it's just this one shelf. And I feel like with like a snap of her fingers, like the book will start like coming out of the shelf and it'll just like magically start to like float with that same like green blue sort of energy, and the pages just flip like her tome was, and she just starts like combing through. No, that's not it. No, that can't be it either.
I want to help, but I feel like I shouldn't touch anything.
You're all right, Ruin. There's
What's
a
that?
couple of other books that are also on that same shelf. This is my little section of the library. Any of those books will do, though.
Okay.
Just immediately starts flipping pages, completely oblivious to the struggle, I think, of poor Ruin.
He's trying. He's doing his best. Just very, very carefully turning the pages, looking for
Try not to
anything.
breathe
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
each one.
So okay. So what are you looking for in the books, Mel?
I want to see if there's not necessarily those specific runes, but to see if there's any like other sort of similar things, like other sketches or references to runes altogether, to kind of see if there's like at least a match, so to speak, or there's enough of a similarity in between the two, and then seeing what the context is in between those two scenarios. So we had like these spires that show up out of nowhere from the ground, and then see what the other ones might be.
Okay.
Just seeing if it's been done before.
Okay. Rad. Okay. So we're gonna start with Ruin. So you open your book, and you see the title page. It's some long esoteric, like a treatise on the meta magical phenomena in ancient Caerwyn and how it relates to what, it just goes on forever.
You're allowed to use punctuation. Fucking. shit.
And as you turn, the next page has the list of authors and like the information on it, like about like the reference information. And as you turn the next page, it's blank. And then the next page is blank. And seemingly all of the pages in this book are blank.
Either you didn't finish writing this one or something's happened.
What?
It's blank. I'm just gonna-
Would I have known that particular book was blank?
So about that time, as you're getting through maybe a quarter of the book that you're reading, you start to see every now and then a couple pages are blank. There's a little bit of information, blank page, a little bit of information, blank page, and then just solidly like 3 chapters fully blanked out. Seemingly around the information that you're potentially looking for. Something you get like sort of meta contextually from the chapters that are still there, that like this had information about ancient sites and the appearance of like ancient phenomena and like things like that. Nothing specifically referencing, and no like illustrations of the runes or anything. Yeah, you know exactly what's going on here. This is an access problem For Ruin, it's probably that you don't have a library card. You can look at the titles, but it keeps you from reading the books. For Fiona, you don't have like this is like a clearance thing. This is something that has been like, it's a thing with many of the books in the library and is attributed to the Acolytes College. And they're sort of like secretive use of information, sort of the redaction of information that could be dangerous or like too powerful. But yeah, I mean, first things first, a library card. As you look at the book that Ruin is reading, like many of the pages are filled in. You can see them. That information is not redacted there.
I'm getting an important lesson in civics here, aren't I? I should
pay your
I
taxes.
should have a library
They
card.
fund your local library.
Yeah.
Go to your local library too, folks, okay?
Do
That
it.
is a real civics lesson. Oh. Well, I guess I forgot. Having been a student here for so long, I forget that you need a library card in order to access all this. Why don't we get you one, Ruin? And
I
then
mean,
we can
don't-
compare.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll go get. Where is it? Just in the front office? Like
It's just the front desk right there.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go get it. You stay here and keep being productive. Yeah. Be back for that. And I'll just go and get a library card.
So, rad. From here, we're going to do a fun little split screen duo scene as
Ew.
you approach the front desk of the library, Matt. Ruin walks up. There's a person sitting behind the counter. As Saoirse and Teddy approach the public relations desk of the Wild, there is also a, like, I think also just straight up, like, in a video game where they've just clearly copy and pasted the asset, it is just straight up the same dude that you talked to, but, like,
Yep.
different. So, like all of the Wild just kind of look the same. And as you both approach... Oh, go ahead.
Magical
It's
full
velvet
plate.
off.
Yeah.
It's just the only difference is that it's got the copy pasted armor on, but no helmet.
Yeah.
The other one's wearing a white shirt with a tie.
Just generic face A of like character creation
Yeah.
sitting behind the desk. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna bounce back and forth.
Exact same image.
Yeah. We're gonna bounce back and forth here. So we're gonna start Ruin. What do you do when you walk up to the desk?
Hi. I need a library card. I would like to read some stuff.
Perfect. Saoirse or Teddy, what are you saying as you walk up to the desk?
So, did you hear anything about last night that was really exciting?
All right. And then in a fun split screen of the movie video game thing, both answers come back at the same time. Collegianar registration number, please.
7.
1270124/TXB?
We had the same thought and went to the exact opposite ends of the possibilities.
There was 4 multi-choice, and you just chose. One chose A, one chose D.
Mm-hmm.
And they both sort of sigh in parallel, just... Collegianar registration can be had on the 2nd floor of the Givers College at the Collegianar registration offices. Please apply for your registration and come back with your number.
This is a fucking fractal fetch quest. Got it! I will be back!
I feel like they're just gatekeeping.
Please make sure you bring all members of your Collegianar group. You will need them all present to sign the appropriate paperwork.
I don't know what a Collegianar group is. And I'll go back to...
What paperwork?
You actually do
Look
know
at
what a
Fiona.
Collegianar is.
Oh, no, I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Sure.
Collegianar is a... so if you're a student at the colleges, you have access to the college resources. Alternatively, you can kind of be like a gig economy freelance worker for the colleges. You register, get your like Collegionar registration, and that is like what a lot of adventuring groups in this world are. They start out as like Collegionars, and they do work for the colleges, and that's like a lot of money funnels through the colleges. They can like pay you for your time. It's just like a general registration union kind of thing for people who do odd jobs for the colleges. And I think all of you except for Teddy would probably know generally that like adventuring groups are typically Collegionar groups. They just are registered, and it's an interest in sort of keeping the more powerful people at least somewhat known about in this world.
Tracked. Yeah.
Yes. And so, yeah, you would need to register for your Collegionar.
That deeply explains why Ruin does not have one yet.
Yep.
I'm not getting any fucking system.
That sounds like an absolute drag. Would you prefer to go get lost instead? And I give you, like, I look at you and my eyes are like glittering, where they do that zoom in and it's just like glittering eyes.
Yeah.
All right. And we just want to try and, I just want to find someone leaving a room where we can slip into a room where people seem to be talking, chatting, hallways, other floors that maybe we accidentally go to because it said go to the second floor in the same building we're in. So maybe we go to the fourth floor, because that's 2 extra floors up than where we are. And so I'm just making sure following instruction and yet not following any instruction. Malicious compliance in the wrong way.
Yeah. Rad. Okay. Give
Just
me.
turn around if anyone says we're going in the wrong spot. Just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize for our
I'm here.
Give me a D20 roll, Haley. We'll just do a flat, yeah, vague.
Five. No, that's
5.
not good.
Okay.
Such a fabulous name.
I will tell you, this doesn't matter that much. This was just sort of what is going down. Yeah, you sneak into a room. You find yourself like on the 4th floor. The colleges, shockingly, for like the amount of limited restriction information that there is, like they're pretty open. Anybody can kind of just roll in and like sit into a lecture and like do whatever they want. You find yourself in, honestly, probably what for you, Teddy, is like a pretty interesting lecture on the, so it's like, it looks like it seems to be sort of a history class on the War of the Five Realms, a war that you have heard of this one probably, though not all of it, not all of the information.
I've heard it like fable versions of it,
yeah,
like, where they tell you the bard's story as they're coming through town, not the historical recollection of that was found in a book.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so my timelines are a little weird. I need to like resort some of the timelines from what I originally wrote to like where Teddy's character fits into them, which isn't a big deal at all. But basically, you probably would have heard the stirrings of this a few days ago for you. Like just a few days ago, you would have heard some stirrings of like one of the 5 provinces has sort of declared war on one of the others. There's some like really weird stuff happening sort of along all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of it is, for anyone that isn't entirely invested in what's going on here, one of the most boring lectures that anyone has ever sat through. It is mind-numbingly boring, as they're just like, and on the 3rd day, General Prozagar fired 7 fired 7 arrows at the enemy troops. Like, it is just numbers, and like you see a number of people, like you see the gamut of students in this hall. Like some are passed out and like I cannot be fucked. Some are like diligently taking notes of this stuff that is clearly just written in a history book. That like, why the fuck are you taking notes that are just what's in the textbook? So yeah, you sit in that for a while. How long do you stay? I guess like what do you?
I don't know. I feel like with Saoirse, I felt like we went left straight away, trying to. This isn't the gossip we were looking for. but can I clock who the teacher is? Is there a teacher or is it a movie?
Yeah, no, it's a teacher. It's like it's a lecturer. Seems to be just an older, yeah.
Can I clock and like try and memorize his face to like
Sure.
try and track him down later, or like take a name off of the door or something like that?
Yeah, I think very classically, like on the whiteboard is like written his name. So yeah, you absolutely. And I think probably he's like written like office hours times like on the board to just be like, if you need, to talk about history or whatever, like that's there. So yeah, you've got his name. I don't fucking know what it is. I'll come up with something at some point when you meet him.
I write it down.
Cool. Rad.
So we don't find any gossip, which is unfortunate, but it happens.
What do you do next? Like, what's your next step after sitting through a mind-numbing lecture?
Is there a cafeteria in this building?
You can try to find one. But as you do,
Where do you think we can find information?
tell
No one
me,
wants to talk to us, Sasha.
what is Teddy's headspace like right now? Thinking about that, coming out of this lecture, coming out of that, knowing like what you know about where she is at right now.
God.
Where is she? Like head mentally.
I think she has no idea what she's doing. She doesn't even know what she's supposed to be asking the wild while they look at books. And so she is just like flitting around, trying to absorb as much as possible without overwhelming herself. While also kind of like staying distracted and being more curious than anything else. She's like thirsty to take in as much as possible. She thirsty.
Okay. Yeah. So as Teddy is sort of thirstily looking for information and trying to figure out what's going on here, as she thirsty, you and Saoirse together walking down the hallway. I think probably Saoirse says something, does something that distracts Teddy for a second. You look at her, and as you turn back, directly in front of you at this T junction
Eyes?
hard eyes, yes. T junction in this hallway is a pedestal. And on that pedestal is the bust of someone that looks phenomenally familiar to you. This is the spitting image of one of your siblings. And yet, a little bit older than you remember, and with a nose bridge that just isn't quite right. It doesn't look like it was broken. It doesn't look like a rendering of something like that. It looks like it's like them, but with a feature that is fundamentally different than what you would know and remember. And on the
Annabelle. And I move closer to it.
On the plaque in front, it says, "For generous donations to the Ladies' College," and then a name, Genovia Buttersby.
Genovia? That is unfamiliar to me. Saoirse, do you know this face? This face here. Have you seen this before? Is it this? And I put my face next to it.
Like,
do you see a resemblance? This looks as like an absolute smashing fit of my sister Annabelle. And I smoosh my face like next to it. I'm like, but the nose is wrong. And I grab onto it, the nose.
Oh, I thought
This
someone
is
had
not
seen
how
you.
spell Annabelle, right? And I point at the name tag.
No, that says Genovia. I honestly thought it was you. Are we not near the art wing? I thought maybe someone had seen you and made a sculpture of you from yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. You flatter me so. But no, the nose is all wrong. My nose is not that big.
No, it's not. So that's I mean, they could be learning.
Yeah, no, that's true. Older. Is there anyone around?
So, hold on, who's Annabelle?
Annabelle is my sister. Annabelle Buttersby.
It's a fucking mouthful, Jesus.
Annabelle
Just wait
Buttersby.
till you hear her middle names. That is a mouthful.
Annabelle. Wait. Nope, I'm not familiar.
Well, I don't mean to hijack the whole situation, but do you think that maybe we could go find some history books, family books? How do we find information? I don't remember. I know. Me. Theodora knows how to do this. Haley does not know. How do we do this?
I think we need to register.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Same
should
deal.
reach back up to the others and see if we can register as a group.
We could just ask. We could just ask Fiona.
That is true.
I mean,
Yes,
it says generous donations, so surely they keep a record of people who donated.
I mean, she did recognize my name. Not when I said it, but after we talked about it a little bit.
Let's go find Fiona.
Yes. Poof.
And I will say one final like piece, and this is up to you if Teddy sees it or not. Underneath on the plaque, in much smaller writing, you see 2 dates. The first, seemingly, I guess it would be like 16/3/54-ish. So a few years, about 20 years after you left, to about 30 years after that. And next to it, it says Dean of the Ladies' College.
Okay, do I want to have noticed that? Let's say no. Let's say I was so utterly confused by the name and by the face and trying to understand what was going on, I didn't turn back around to study any details before running off with Saoirse.
Could I have read the rest of the plaque? Because you asked. That's not how you spell Annabelle.
Yes.
It's like I would have read the entire thing looking for Annabelle. And be like, nope. That's not how you spell any of that.
Yeah.
There you go. You know,
You
some
definitely
more.
read those dates. And for understanding, that is not a birth and death date. That is the dates that this person was the dean of the
She
ladies'
reigned.
college.
She reigned as
Reigned as dean. And with that, with the
A
group,
true
all...
dean does not need to say that they are the dean.
Unimaginable power. No.
unlimited power. Do it. Anyway, yes. As with that, we fade out on the image of Genovia Buttersby, and we're gonna call it a night for this session. We will pick back up next week with more intrigue and mystery and what the fuck is going on.
And a library card.
And
A library
card. But thank you all for playing. Thank you all for hanging out in the chat. Everybody who's here, thanks for entering our giveaway. Thanks for doing all that. Check out our Sponers.
Yes.
Check out our Discord, Patreon, all the fun things. Come hang out with us. Check back next week for more of this, and check out our other shows. Matt runs one. Billy runs one, but don't worry about that one too much.
They can't see him anyway.
Yeah, he's always out of frame. Congratulations to La Sombra Dark for winning the gift card. I hope you
Yes.
enjoy your new shirt or whatever
Or
apparel.
shirts.
They might have other stuff on there. I can't remember, but they definitely got shirts.
And again, even if you didn't win the gift card, you could still use the discount code from our Sponers so that you still are able to get in touch with all of the amazing stuff that Into the AM and our other Sponers have to offer.
Get in touch with your
TOI
sponors.
toy.
Should we go through? Do all of them have the same discount code?
They're most of them are TOI, some variation of that. I think if I'm remembering correctly, the level 1 gamers is TOI 15.
Yes.
So I think it gets you 50% off.
Yes.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all pretty good discounts.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for playing. Have a good rest of your Wednesday and or Thursday, depending on what time zone you're in. And until next time, are you ready for more tales?
Always.